team can be and just how far they still have to go in the tale of two halves last Saturday against Archibald. You had to sit on that disappointing loss at home for a week. What's the mindset if you're the coach, knowing that you can pace yourself, but at the same time there are things you need to work on?
Well, the mindset is, we've got a new chance right now. The preseason's over, so to speak. We've got our opening week here for Green Meadows Conference action, and certainly a very big game. If we can sneak out a win on the road here at Fairview, puts us in a pretty good spot, even though, again, it's early. But again, Logan Roofham's squad, a tough loss at Delta, and then they fouled that up the next night with a tough loss to a very good undefeated Archibald team who had a big win against Wauseon in overtime last night. But again, the fact that they showed glimpses of promise in that Archibald game. That first half I thought was incredible. Things went south there in the second half. But I think that's something they can maybe grow from and take it into this GMC opener here tonight.
Now, speaking of growth, Kirsten, walk us through the mindset of the athlete. The beauty of basketball is, unlike other sports, you almost always get to play within 24 to 48 hours later. It's been a full week here, and Ayersville's had to sit on two performances that they know could be wins but ended up being losses. How did you handle that? How did you refocus? How did you challenge yourself as an athlete?
It was always hard going into those weeks where you didn't have games. You just kept going to practice after practice, but we always had to focus in and maybe have a little bit of fun during that week too, whether it was just doing a game while we were practicing just to keep that energy up, but also have the focus throughout and just cheer on your teammates and cheer on everybody who's there just to focus on that game coming up at the end of the week.
Well, knowing your senior class, fun wasn't a foreign concept to any of you. But at the same time, there are things that you need to take seriously.
Correct.
How do you balance that as an athlete? Not to carry it around with you too much, but at the same time, let it motivate you to improve.
I think you definitely have to know when the time and place is to focus and when to have fun. Once, your coach is looking at you, you might need to dial it in and stop messing around and just, get with it. And then just knowing when the time and place is to have that fun, but also knowing when I need to focus. Yep, we're in practice for an hour. Let's dial in. Let's work on what we need to. Maybe after practice, then we can let that go and relax.
Scoop, I did attend several practices her senior year. I don't remember Coach Nicely giving her that look really at all, but maybe I think the statute of limitations is probably expired now, so she can't admit it. But at the same time, from a coaching perspective, you've got to be able to balance that. I know you've done that on multiple benches, but it's not always drudgery, but it's not always cotton candy either. How do you approach the athletes so that you don't beat them down, that they want to come in and work, but at the same time understand if you don't fix this, if you don't improve here, you're not going to find success?
Well, I know what that look she was talking about certainly is, because I'm sure I've given it a few times. But, I think it starts with you build relationships, with your players. You get to know your kids. They know that you have their best interests in their mind. You want them to be successful. You want them to look back and really be proud of the work and effort they put in. And so as a coach, that's kind of the mindset. That's the big goal. So, sure, there's some tough love in between there at times. But, again, it's all about trying to get the best version of each person on that team so we can be the best team we can. And, again, that's when you can figure that out when you're dealing with 15, 16, 17-year-olds, good luck. You can do a lot of things here in this business if you figure that out.
Taking a look at the hosts here tonight, the Apaches, and they made a deep run in the football playoffs, just getting everybody back really for about a week, not even quite 2 weeks. At the same time, the playbook hasn't been fully open. We're going to hear from Coach Panico in just a couple of minutes. What he's really relying on are these guys' athleticism and the incredible depth. He can go almost 5 deep off the bench. That's led to a 3-1 start.
Well, I think that you don't want to mess with that, because you're right. It certainly is early on. They don't have all their sets in by any stretch, all their out-of-bounds plays, all their defenses. But what you want is you want athletes to be athletes. So go out there, let them play. The fact they're coming off a deep run in football, I think that's a good thing. They learned how to win. They had that competitiveness. They were able to get some success in the postseason. So now is trying to get those basketball legs underneath. But the fact that Coach Panico has a very deep bench, I don't think conditioning certainly will be a factor here tonight.
On the flip side for the Pilots, again at 2-3, their last 2 games, woulda, coulda, shoulda. At the same time, and Kirsten, we know the 1-2 punch of Jeremiah Peak and Dane Ewers. These guys are both averaging over 20 points. But what Coach Wolfram, and we're going to hear from him in just a couple of minutes, wants is somebody else to step up and be that third scorer. And as a matter of fact, he doesn't need one person to pick up another 10 or 15. He said, we're fine if we get 3 or 4 guys that can score 5 points each. That's a reasonable challenge to make to the rest of your roster, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, I know when we played, we all knew that, sometimes Allie would have 20 points, but not every game you can rely on her to do that. You have to be able to have all your players who can shoot. I mean, yes, it's great if they all can shoot, but sometimes you just need somebody to step it up. And I hope that they can do that tonight.
Had a chance to stop out a little over 24 hours ago at Ayersville. We were at the hangar as the girls were playing. Coach Panico's daughter plays on the varsity team. I caught Coach Wolfram after practice and got both of the coaches' takes on the season up to this point, and more importantly, what it will take to walk off the court with a victory here this evening. We're going to take a quick timeout. We are back with more of the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show, and Ayersville coach Logan Wolfram will lead us off right after this. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com.
Full week off. Rest up, heal up, focus on tonight's opponent, Fairview. Both these teams right now just a handful of games underneath their belts. Heavy in the second half of the season. Being joined by Coach Wolfram right now. Coach, you had a lot of extra time this week. So you've had a chance to break down the film against Archibald. Let's start there. What did it tell you?
Yeah. Monday was a really good practice for us. Typically Mondays when we get about a full week off, Mondays are pretty, I want to say, more mental practice for us. We'll watch quite a bit of film. We'll get the guys in. We'll shoot. We'll do some stuff, but we're not real physical into the practice. So Monday we watched the film of Archibald.
What did it tell you?
A couple things coming out of that game. Obviously, it was an 18-point game, tied at half. We did a lot of really, really good things. So that's obviously going through film. We want to point out what the good things are and show them what those good things are. Obviously, there's some bad as well in that film.
The third quarter was a killer.
Yep.
What do you put your finger on?
Couple things there. They got some quick, easy buckets that really hurt us, and then we took some quick shots that against really good basketball teams, if we miss, they're going to come down and they're going to go get a bucket. So that third quarter run really hurt us. Jeremiah getting in foul trouble in that third quarter also hurt us a little bit. We really, really had a great effort and energy in the majority of the game. And to beat good teams and to be a good team, you need that all 4 quarters. So that's something we really preach this week in practice, energy, effort, and it has to start when the ball goes up.
Another silver lining, Alex Sigler is back. Doesn't have his legs underneath him yet, but even a little bit goes a long way. How are you going to wean him back into things?
Yeah, great to have Alex back. He unfortunately was out all football season and just got him back this week. So he's had a good week of practice. He's been running quite a bit in practice for us. He brings a little bit of scoring to us. He has a great outside shot, and that's one thing we're really, really looking to have him step up and do. We're not going to put too much pressure on him early. We're going to kind of wean him into the games. He might play a little JV here and there. He's only a sophomore and hasn't played varsity basketball yet, but he definitely has the ability, and we're excited to have him back.
Fairview has something that it's almost impossible to duplicate in a scout, and that's even bringing some of the college guys, some of your grads back to run scout. Tremendous height, tremendous length. What type of problem does that present?
Yeah, that's a big problem, especially in Northwest Ohio, small town basketball. Not too many people, we can't breed 6'9", 6'6", 6'6", 6'4", 6'2", but with that, we just have to be a little bit more disciplined with the basketball, and that's where we're going to have to look for those really good open shots, and like you said, against Archibald, we took a couple of quick shots there in the third quarter that got us down, so with their length and their athletic ability, but if we can just be a little bit more disciplined and make that extra pass early, and hit a couple shots, I like where we're at.
Bach coming off the bench at 6'6", has been their leading scorer. Actually, I take that back, second leading scorer at 11 per game, but he's a high-volume three-point shooter. They've got 2 or 3. It's not like you can just lock down on one. you're going to have to come out and identify around the perimeter, because it's not like you can sag off one. You pick your poison, 2 or 3 others are going to be ready to catch and shoot.
Yeah. They can fill it up, and they can fill it up in a hurry. Obviously, Panico he's one of the best shooters in our league. The Bot kid's been having a great year for him. I really like his game. Shiniger and Olinger can fill it up a little bit as well.
If they're open, they'd
Right.
only need a little bit of daylight.
Exactly. So we're going to have to identify those guys early, and we have through their scout. We're going to try to chase some guys off some screens early and maybe sag off some other guys until they hurt us or hit a couple. Those guys are going to hit tough shots. I always tell our guys when they hit tough shots, tell them good job and let's go score back on them.
So with that said, it's tough. It almost seems like contradictory, because you want to run, but at the same time, defensively, you want to make it a half-court game. Mm-hmm. How difficult is that to do?
Yeah, it's hard, and I think you saw that during the Archville game where we get a rebound, we want to go. We want to push, we want to go, we want to get up in transition. I don't want to make the excuse that we're a young team, because we're not a young team anymore, but with our two high-volume scorers, they're still pretty young in their career. So we just have to identify that those guys can get the shots that they want really at any time during the game. We just got to work the ball a little bit more and get that extra shot or that next best shot rather than coming down and shooting the first open one.
Do you expect the press tonight?
We'll see. We're probably not going to start in it. We'll start picking up, probably man-to-man full court. We're definitely going to throw it in at some point, but over at Fairview it's a little bit smaller court, so the press could help us or it could hurt us, so we're just going to start man-to-man full court pickup.
Much like Archibald, I expect it. You sounds like you do, having watched your practice. Look, basketball by its very nature is a game of runs. Mm-hmm. It's can you survive 1 or 2 instead of giving up 3 or 4. Mm-hmm. What's the key? Is it more mental than maybe anything X's and O's with this team right now?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is mental. I mean, I think we're one of the most talented teams in the league. I truly do believe that. But we're working on each practice on mental focus and really trying to slow down practice and talk through what we're trying to teach. And I think that we've been doing that the past couple of weeks, and the guys are really, really liking how we're doing that. We're really showing them what to look for in film and how we want to guard things. We watched some Fairview film earlier this week together and talked about what they want to do and how they play. So a lot of it is just on that mental side of the game, and it's hard to teach, but I think our guys are starting to get it a little bit more, and I guess we'll see tonight.
I guess we will. Nothing left to do but tip this off. Before we do, though, we have to give a shout-out to Audrey Manrique. She opened up her room. Actually, she didn't open it up. It happened to be open, and she allowed us to step out of the hallway and do this pregame interview. But we got to give a shout-out to her.
Oh, yeah. She's a phenomenal art teacher here at Ayersville. My kids love her, and her classroom's right next to my wife's classroom. So
Does she have any eligibility?
She was a great athlete. Her husband was a great athlete, and her little kid's a great athlete. So there's some eligibility coming for him.
We'll wait for another few years, but
Yep.
maybe you'll still be here, and we'll be calling lots of little Manriques in varsity uniforms.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Back to the here and now. Good luck tonight, Coach. We appreciate it.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Again, that's Coach Wolfram joining us on the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show. Check out Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, located on North Main Street in downtown Defiance. You can check out their great selection of new, and we always stress used vehicles. Everybody on a budget, or you can do so online at drivebobestil.com. Don't go anywhere. We're back with more of the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show right after this on DCTV Sports.
For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org.
New, and if you're a poor broadcaster, used vehicles, because we know everybody's on a budget. If you can't get to their lot in person, you can always check them out online at drivebobestil.com. All right, we've got Fairview. We've got Ayersville. Nothing left to do but tip this one off as Coach Panico is joining us right now. I guess, let me ask you this. If you were going to become a pitch man for Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, are you driving off the lot with like a nice Cadillac Escalade or a 4x4 and you're going off-road?
Sheesh, I'm glad you asked. Actually, they treated us pretty well.
Okay.
I'm just a poor teacher, so we were shopping the used lot too. But we bought a 2012 Chevy Traverse there.
All right.
A lot of years ago.
So
and we got a lot of years and a lot of miles out of that
And
thing.
still
so
a few left.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Estill.
All right, so I'll do a little talking behind the scenes if you're all right with it. I think you'd be a great pitch man for
Hey,
them.
there we go.
All right,
Yeah.
fantastic. Let's talk basketball. Sound good?
Yes, sir.
Barely scraping the tip of the iceberg. Only 4 games into it. Most of your guys, a lot of your guys, made a deep run in football. As you would expect, it takes a while to get your legs, get your conditioning down. With where the bar was set, with where you at least would expect it to be, where is this team right now?
I'll be honest about it. I wish we were a little further along than we are. And it wasn't just a deep run in football. I was hoping, because I was expecting a deep run in football, to get a lot in the summertime. And a lot of those same boys made a deep run in baseball, too. And so I missed a couple of weeks of our summer program where I was going to install some stuff. Didn't happen like I thought it would, so here we are. And we're athletic. We're long. I've got some kids that can score the basketball. In our first few games, we've had a propensity for turnovers that we're trying to clean up. If we shoot well, we cover up a lot of those mistakes, but we didn't shoot real well in our last outing, and so that shows up.
What's
we
that say
found
about
a way
this team's
through.
Resiliency, though?
It says a lot, actually. We find ourselves, even our first game against Hicksville with a light squad, we were down, I think, by 20 or 21 points that night and lost by 1 point. Had a chance at the end. They made some free throws, so hats off to those kids that stepped up to the line and did what they needed to do. But my kids, they fight, they battle, they work. They do everything that I could ask them to do.
So where are you at tempo-wise? I guess let me ask you this. I'll set it up as a preface to tonight's game because Ayersville wants to run. No secret they want to track me. But at the same time, Coach Wolfram has been very blunt about, but we want them to be in the half court. What kind of tempo do you want tonight?
Yeah, we're going to see who wins that tempo battle tomorrow night because that's what we're doing too. We're trying to push that tempo, trying to get up and down the court. You can see my roster. I've got a deep bench this year, so we can play a lot of kids. And so my goal is keeping them fresh. And sometimes you don't see the dividends of that until later in the game. But that's the goal this year is to go.
If you want to run, you got to do one thing first. I was at a camp, and Bobby Knight says you can't run if you don't have the ball. You've got a board. Then you also got to fill the lanes. How much offense are you going to get, or would you like to get in transition?
Yeah, that's. I mean, in a perfect world, I actually just read a quote by Nate Oates, Alabama's coach, the other day. He said, "If we're doing things the right way, we're not running any sets." And so, if we can pressure the ball like I want to, if we're doing what I'm asking the boys to do, sprint, rebound the basketball, and look up the floor, then there's not a lot of offensive sets that we're running. We're just playing basketball.
When you do get into the half court, are we going to see more sets? Do you run a continuity, or are you going to back it out? And
we
run
do have
something
sets. We run some sets that bleed into motion. So we've got some transition sets. We've got some half-court sets. And the goal is that everything bleeds into our motion offense, where you should see some movement and the ball moving, having a limited preseason for reasons that some of that isn't as crisp as it will be. But we're going to get better as this season goes. So.
I don't want to say limited possessions, but if a team wants to limit your possessions, then obviously quality possessions, quality shots become maybe even more of a premium. What's a quality shot for your specific guys? Because as we were going through your roster here, you've got multiple guys that aren't afraid to put it up and especially put it up beyond the arc.
Yeah, and so that changes depending on the possession. If we're in transition, we've got an open look on the wing, and it's one of my shooters. He's going to let it fly. We're going to go try to rebound the heck out of the basketball if he misses it. Now, when we get to a half-court set, that's part of the learning that's taking place for my guys right now. My request, my suggestion, my encouragement,
sly smile,
is a paint touch. Like you want to get the ball inside and work from the inside to the outside. And right now, especially, you can see it getting better. But in our first game, it was I see the rim, I'm going to let it fly. We weren't real picky about it, and so we've gotten better. But we still have a ways to go to grow that part of our mentality, to understand the difference of when to go and when to slow down just a little bit and be a little bit pickier.
Well, shot selection against a team like Ayersville who wants to run, a bad shot might as well be a turnover, correct?
Yeah,
they're going to
push
quality
it.
shots tonight.
So, yeah.
Okay. Let's switch to the defensive side. No secret, they're a huge 1-2 punch between Ewers and Peak. Peak maybe a little bit more of the creative style. A lot of heat checks, but let's talk defensively. Who's your stopper? Who draws him?
Yeah, so Levi, my son, he'll start on Peak tomorrow night because I trust that he can understand the assignment. He's going to make, hopefully, Peak's looks difficult. Peak's going to get some points on the board. Peak's going to get lost by us once in a while, and he's going to get open shots. We need to limit the number of those that happen. We want to make it contested for him as much as possible so he doesn't see a lot of the rim. Tried to stay in front of him, too, because the kid, he's talented.
You beat me to it. Will you switch on screens?
That's not our plan right now.
Best on best is what I'm hearing you.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, that's true. We will help on him. I won't beat around the bush on that. We've got guys that that's their job tomorrow night, know where he is, even to help.
Other keys for an Apache win?
I think we've got to rebound the heck out of the basketball. On the offensive end, Peak and Ewers, they like to go up and shoot it, and they'll rebound their own miss and get a putback or get fouled in the process. And so rebounding, number 1A, don't foul. Don't bail those kids out when they drive in. We don't want to hack them and put them at the line, and that's part of the tempo of the game too. I don't want to stop the game for free throws. So wall him up. If he makes it over you, he makes it. And if he doesn't, check him out and go grab the board.
Nothing left to do but tip this one off, right?
GMC slate starts tomorrow night.
Almost has a postseason feel to it, and we're still in December.
Yeah, we're
Coach,
ready.
as always, appreciate you joining us. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Back with the starting lineups and the keys to the game right after this. You're watching the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show on DCTV Sport.
Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding. 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com.
We have reservations at the reservation. Welcome back, everybody. DCTV Sports on the air with our Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show. Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller and Kirsten Manning. Time now for our starting lineups, brought to you by Baker Schindler Company. Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Scoop knows, I think you were one of their first customers.
There we
weren't you?
go.
Absolutely. Check out their great selection and more about their service, serving Defiance and Paulding at baker-schindler.com. Let's go ahead and start for the hosts, the Apaches of Fairview, led by head coach Jake Panico and company, 3-1 on the young season, and their starters as follows. At the point, it will be Levi Panico. Panico, again, averaging 12 points per ball game, a little over 2.5 rebounds, and just an eyelash over an assist per contest. At the off guard, it will be William Zedike, their standout quarterback this season. Zedike trying to get his legs back underneath him. Again, he's not a huge scorer, but what he is a pest on defense. He averages 3.5 points and 2 boards per contest, but Scoop, they keep a statistic here called deflections. Are you basically interrupting passes? Are you disrupting a team's offense, especially in the half court? He's got 22. He will be in your jersey all night long.
Well, that's incredible. You think on the other side, you know how quick Owen Lloyd is for the pilots. He's averaging just over 3 deflections per contest, but then when you throw those kind of numbers up, boy, he's really getting into you in each and every possession.
Almost 6 per game for Zedike. At the swing, it will be Jonah Schinninger. Schinninger, again, standing in at 6'2", a guard and a junior. Schinninger averaging 7 points and 4 boards per contest. And then the size in the front court. Gavin Mead standing in at 6'2", another junior. Mead averaging 8 points and 3 boards per contest. And Logan Mosier, the tower in the middle, the 6'9" junior center. Mosier, again, averaging 7 points and nearly 8 boards per contest. On the flip side for the Pilots of Ayersville, 2-3 on the young season, led by head coach Logan Wolfram. No surprises. Dylan Dunn will be the point guard. Dunn stands in at 5'11", and a senior. At the off guard, it will be Owen Lloyd. Lloyd, a 5'10" senior. Then the production, Jeremiah Peak. Peak stands in at 6'2". I think he may be even a little bit taller, but he is thick. He has spent some time in the weight room. The team's leading scorer, averaging 21 basically per contest. Jackson Stambaugh will be one of your front court players. Stambaugh standing in at 5'11", and a junior. And in the middle, Dane Ewers. Ewers, the sophomore, started last year as a freshman, the team's second leading scorer at 20 points per ball game. Kirsten, we heard Coach Wolfram talk about it during the pregame, though. You know what you're going to get night in, night out in Peak and Dane Ewers, but they need more balance. It can be almost second nature sometimes when you've got such aggressive teammates to just kind of stand back and watch. The rest, whoever is on the floor at that point in time, cannot be complacent. They cannot be spectators. Like you were saying, you don't need one player to step up and take the other 15 to 16 points that the coaches want. They'd be fine if 3 or 4 players did it with 5. That's not too big an ask, is it?
No, it's not. Especially if you know how your team is going to play, then you know that they can all shoot and that you can rely on all of them. So if they're open, give them the ball, and maybe they'll just ball tonight.
So maybe we'll get that phrase coined. Maybe we'll just ball tonight. At the same time, if you are Ewers and Peak, what can you do to get your fellow teammates a little bit more involved, make them comfortable?
I would just say going and setting screens is definitely a big one. Getting them open, helping them out, just moving around the court and not standing still is a huge one to help your teammates get open, and just making sure you're looking for them and not just looking for the points for yourself.
Those are your starting lineups, brought to you by Baker Schindler Company. Time now for the keys to the game, brought to you by Northwest State Community College. Northwest State Community College, your key to great career opportunities begins with a great education at Northwest State. Visit northweststate.edu or call 419-267-1320 today, or you could also ask Belle McGuire what she thinks. My understanding, a nursing student, former teammate of Kirsten, and a sophomore at Northwest State. As a matter of fact, I believe you said you had dinner with her a couple nights ago?
Yep.
And she sings the praises of Northwest State, probably,
yes,
right?
Yes, she does.
Maybe we'll make her a pitch woman. Scoop, let's go ahead and start with the Apaches. What do they need to do to walk out of their own gym with their 4th win of the season?
Well, I think for the host Apaches, going to start with they have to knock down some open looks. I expect the Pilots to try to stay in front defensively, force the Apaches to shoot over the top. I think it will be important for Fairview to connect from deep, to maybe force the Pilots to stretch their defense here a little bit tonight. I think the second key tonight for Fairview, this is certainly no secret, they have to find a way to contain the dynamic duo of the Ayersville Pilots. And you kind of mentioned those two already, Jeremiah Peak and Dane Ewers, averaging over 41 points per contest between the two. I think Fairview, they understand you're not going to shut these guys down. They account for a big bulk of their offense, about 70% of it, but they have to make those guys work for everything. You're not going to keep them out of the scorebook, but if you make it work for everything tonight, you've got a chance to be successful in your GNC opener here at the reservation.
On the flip side, for the visiting Pilots, what do they need to do to break a 2-game skid?
Well, I think for the Pilots, they have to be the aggressor. They've got to get to the rack. I think they must play downhill, attack the basket, putting stress on this Fairview defense. It will be critical for Ayersville to not come down and just look for the 3. But I think they need to drive, get to the rack, and then if Fairview doubles down, takes that away, then go inside out where that 3 might present itself. I think the other key tonight for Ayersville is going to be rebounding. That could be a tough task against a Fairview team that has a lot of length. I think they have to win the second chance points battle here tonight, Brent, if they want to pull off the upset here at the reservation.
Those are your keys to the game, brought to you by Northwest State Community College. As the balls are in the racks, we are getting set for the playing of the national anthem. It is brought to you tonight by the Defiance County Veterans Office. Proud to support local veterans and their families, connecting them with resources available to them. For more information or to find out what you might be eligible for, log on to defiance-county.com/veterans office or call 419-782-6281. National anthem in the books, courtesy of the Fairview Pep Band and courtesy on our airwaves from the Defiance County Veterans Office. We're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, Nothing left to do but tip this one off. The Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show. We're putting a big black and gold or blue and navy bow on it, depending on who you're cheering for tonight. We're back after this on DCTV.
Discover top quality healthcare education at Northwest State. Our instructors have real-world experience, so they know how to prepare you for great career opportunities. Northwest State, where you'll get the top quality healthcare education you need to succeed.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com.
Embrace the magic as the Nutcracker Prince comes to life and guides Clara through a blizzard of snowflakes to the land of sweets. The Strady Center for the Arts presents the Fort Wayne Ballet production of The Nutcracker, live in Defiance for one performance only on December 20th. Tickets are on sale now at defiancearts.org.
Back at the reservation, the starting lineups being introduced first for the visiting Pilots of Ayersville. Again, trying to snap a two-game skid here at Fairview this evening. Both the Pilots and the Apaches have had a full week off. They did not have a Tuesday or Wednesday game, so they've been able to completely focus on each other. A couple of the things that you heard both coaches talk about, but in particular, and Kirsten, let's start with you, a silver lining for the Pilots tonight. Alex Sigler is back in uniform. He was injured. Matter of fact, I think he got injured in the season opener for football. He was supposed to be the starting quarterback this year. Doesn't quite have his legs underneath him. He did play a couple of quarters in the JV game. Not so much that he's going to be a huge fill-up-the-rim type of guy, but he does bring some athleticism, and he can certainly play some defense. So the Pilots bench a little bit deeper tonight.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's always important to be able to use everybody on your bench. You don't just want to rely on your main five. And knowing that I had an injury my freshman year, coming back from an injury is huge, and I'm sure that he's put in a lot of work to be where he is today, and I'm sure that if he gets in, that he's going to do a great job.
On the flip side for the Apaches, and we heard Coach Panico talk about it, look, legs are there, but at the same time, they want to play almost a contradiction in styles tonight, Scoop. They want to get downhill offensively. As a matter of fact, Coach Panico said, I would love to not have to run a single offensive set, meaning let's run, rebound, fill the lanes, and get as much in transition as possible. But on the defensive side of the court, they want to make Ayersville play a half-court style of game. How tough is that to balance the two?
That really is, because you can get carried away and play into the hands of Ayersville, who wants to really get up with those two main scores, averaging 41 points a game. But again, GMC opener here about to tip off. Veteran official Jim Troyer tosses it up.
And our tip-off tonight brought to you by Superior Credit Union, a non-for-profit member-owned financial cooperative. Visit superiorcu.com to find out more about joining the winning team at Superior Credit Union. Good perimeter passing, good ball movement in the early going here by Fairview. Ayersville. Interesting, we've got Peak just kind of hanging around in the middle of the paint with others manning up, and we've got a whistle and actually a jump ball in the middle of the paint.
A good solid possession by that Pilot defense. That time they come out straight man-to-man. We're able to keep Fairview to one and done. The Apaches with a little full court pressure coming up.
Sprinting into the front court. Nicely done. Dylan Dunn will set it up. Stambaugh, a little bit of a three-man weave in between the circles, and look at this. Dunn's going to pull the trigger, and look at this, and he's feeling it as he signals over to the bench. That is a West Banco three, and that is three from somebody other than the two big guns, Kirsten.
Absolutely, that's a great way to start off the game, knowing that he's not Jeremiah, he's not Dane Ewers. That's awesome for him, and just like Coach wanted them to step up, I think that's a great way to start off the game.
Well, you're right. He comes in averaging just 4 points per contest, but gets three there. That's going to give that Apache defense maybe something to think about.
We'll see if he can hit maybe another or two and take the lid off the defense. Into the near corner, slowing it down Meade. This is a Fairview team that is patient. They've got four really good perimeter shooters, but they also are making good shot selections, and in that situation, on the drive. Good aggressive move by Panico. He draws the foul. And this one's going to be charged to Owen Lloyd.
Well, great recognition that time by Levi Panicle. We mentioned how Ayersville was coming out in a very aggressive man-to-man. Well, what that does, that gives you some one-on-one opportunities when you spread the floor, and that time Panicle recognized it. Now he heads to the stripe to try to put the Apaches on the board. He connects.
He does. It's just his second made free throw on the young season. He was 1 for 4 entering tonight.
And I think that's a guy that really needs to find a way to get to the stripe. You know, he's a guy that can light up the scoreboard, but he has to find the ways to go downhill, get to the rack. Good start for Panicle.
Peak, good aggressive move, dishes off into the near corner. Lloyd didn't have the look he wanted, so they'll set up the half-court offense. Peak thought about it. Well, he's drawing multiple white jerseys no matter where he's at on the court right now. Oh, nice jump stop, nice dish. Stambaugh for 3. They got a good look, and Lloyd with the weak side board. Peak feeling at the top of the key, got it! Another West Banco 3.
Second chance points, credit the Pilots going to the glass, get that offensive rebound. Peak makes them pay with the deep 3.
Well, just a little out of control there and a little bit of contact, and Zedike cannot maintain possession. But it's an early 6-2 lead for the Pilots. And look at this, we're going to see, is this going to be technically full court pressure? They're manning up to see if they drop back, and they do. Ewers on the drive, nice dish. Stambaugh thought about a 3. Lloyd to the elbow, explodes, and wow, the finger roll!
How about Lloyd taking it right at the big man, Logan Mosier, and that time a nifty little finger roll with the left hand.
Forcing the pass inside, almost stolen away. Far corner, Meade launches from distance, nothing doing, skying in, and that was just brute strength by Jackson Stambaugh to rip it away. Now we've got a rugby scrum in the middle of the paint, and we're going to have another jump ball. Kirsten, you couldn't have scripted a much better start for the Pilots. Multiple players scoring at the offensive end, and they're really physical on the defensive end.
Absolutely, getting those 2 big threes starting off and then getting that mismatch with Owen and number 40, Logan. Even though it wasn't in Owen's favor, he still had that bucket, and that's a huge way to start out here this game.
Hayden Bach, a mismatch on the inbounds. They lose him. That's an easy basket, and he's fouled, as that one is going to go against Jeremiah Peak, his first team foul, number 2.
Yeah, breakdown that time by Ayersville on the baseline out of bounds to lose Bach there underneath the paint.
Bach, a 78% free throw shooter. That's a good-looking stroke. 3-point play, and it pulls the Apaches to within 3. And Peak really being hand-checked, and that's a little too much right there in the open court by Panico. He'll pick up the foul.
Yeah, that's probably a no-no, especially when you're trying to go against Jeremiah Peak. He's just too athletic, does a great job of handling the basketball. Made that an easy call that time. That'll be the first team foul against the Apaches as we hit the 5:21 mark here, quarter 1.
Panico picks up his first, but he will be subbed for. As almost stripped, done. Into the front court. Stambaugh. Near court. Boy, the length of Fairview can just give you so much trouble. Not just in the front court, but look at it around the perimeter. Peak on the drive, little dipsy doodle. Halfway down, it kicks out. Boy, he got the look. Kirsten, you tell him to keep being that aggressive, don't you?
Absolutely,
you like the shot.
Yes, it was a good shot. You know, it kind of just bounced in and out there for him.
On the drive, contact being made. Bach finishes.
Strong move by Bach, going downhill, going strong to the rack. Excellent finish there through contact.
Ewers cut off baseline. He has yet to take a shot. Stambaugh goes up against the 6'9 Mosier and gets a facial. Out of bounds.
Yeah, welcome to the block party right there as Mosier is protecting the basket. Timed that one perfectly.
Well, again, you don't mind challenging the big man, but Kirsten, you got to get into him, right? You got to get yourself some separation.
Yes, you can't be scared of him the whole night, or you'll just never get in the paint if you do that.
Look at this. Dunn thought about it. Instead, pump fake. Explodes and finishes with the left hand.
I love the confidence we're seeing from the junior Dylan Dunn, going downhill, going strong right at the big man. 3-point advantage here for the visitors.
He averages 4 a game. He's got 5 now as a long three. Halfway down and kicks out. And here's a chance for the Ayersville Pilots to run. Peak, bounce pass far corner. Ewers, pump fake, goes in hard and finishes with the left hand.
Great take that time in transition by Ewers. You have to respect his 3-point shooting ability. He saw the aggressive closeout, took it strong. The first basket by the dynamic duel here tonight, and Ayersville off to a fantastic start, up 12-7.
Spin move into a double team, and Schiniger will draw the foul.
Well, that's a great play there by the junior, Jonas Schiniger. He was feeling the double team, but he did a great job of protecting the basketball. And that time drew the contact. So again, that's what you have to do. You got to play strong through that contact. We know Ayersville's really going to come at you man-to-man here.
Near corner, pump fake. Brody Williams has checked in. Nice stop and pop jumper, but it's a little long. We have a whistle underneath. And number 13, that's going to be Hayden Bach, his first.
And right now, I love how the Pilots are really doing a great job establishing the glass at both ends. You know, they have 2 offensive rebounds that have turned into 6 points, but they also have outboarded the Apaches 5-2 here in the opening 4.5 minutes.
Dangerous jump pass by Ewers, but he gets rid of it. Stambaugh pops out. Fairview really packing it down right now. Lloyd on the drive, nifty move, and finishes with the teardrop.
Tremendous move that time, going downhill to the rack one more time. Taking that to size and length.
Exactly.
Of the Apaches.
Speaking of size and length, on the drive, this one fades away, a little short by Olinger. And out of bounds off the Pilots. Kirsten, right now, we talked about what Ayersville wanted to do, and that was run. But at the at the defensive end, slow it down and make it a half-court game, and how difficult it is to balance those. But how do you feel they're doing in the early going right now?
I feel like they've been doing pretty good with that, being able just to stop them from shooting the ball. This
just
time,
as
maybe
that
not so
happens,
much.
we don't believe in the broadcaster's jinx on this crew. Brody Williams drains a 3, pulls the Apaches back to within 4. Peak, heat check, that didn't have a lot on it. Look at Dunn. Boy, almost came up with the offensive board, but now they got to get back in transition. Fairview likes to run. Williams for 3, barely catches iron. Bodies falling, bodies flying, bodies piling, and they're letting them play. And now we've got a whistle, and if it's Peak, that's going to be his second.
I'm not sure Fairview has any issues letting this turn into a football game. That time, a lot of contact both ways. We even saw a nice kind of dive into the pile, but eventually we do hear the whistle.
And that is Peak's second. And he's going to have to take a seat on the bench.
Boy, that's huge. That's also the 15th foul here against Ayersville. So from here on out in this opening quarter, Fairview will be in the penalty.
Jonah Schiniger to the bench. What if I told you this will be his first free throw attempt of the season?
Really?
Believe it.
Okay, well, we'll see how this goes for him.
The draperies swish. So right now he's 100%.
It's a good way to start off.
Now this is Olinger right here. He's a 64% free throw shooter. And that time he's able to get the shooter's touch on the back end. Now we've got a 1-possession game. Fairview still in that man-to-man full court pressure looking to jump.
My apologies. We'll wait for Schiniger to shoot his eventual free throw sometime in this game. 14-12, and after being up by as many as 5, look at this. Fairview, a chance to tie it or take the lead this trip down the court. Nice wraparound move, tough move, using the right arm as a bar, and then Meade finishing with the finger roll with the left.
Oh, I love that isolation, though. 2-man game that time by the Apaches, and Meade made a nice spin move to the middle. Good finish with the left hand.
Long 3, long off the heel of the iron. Chance for the Apaches to take their first lead of the evening. Meade cut off, up top, and there's the inside-outside game, and Fairview is now starting to heat up.
Well, that's the last thing you want to see if your coach Logan Wolfram is Ollinger heating up. That time a Premier Bank 3.
West Banco this year.
I'm sorry, West Banco. I'm a year behind.
So's the interest on your deposits. Got to get one opened up at West Banco. Kirsten might use some of that NIL money that she's going to come into here in the second semester, right?
Oh, yeah, right after Christmas.
Do you usually get a wash in cash at Christmas?
Not really.
Okay.
Nope.
I'm beginning to think maybe she can buy us dinner after the game, Scoop. What do you think? 17-14. After a furious start for the Pilots, Fairview has heated up. And what's the confusion here at the scores table? Logan Wolfram wants a confirmation on something. He's pointing at the scores table, or is he pointing into the stands? Now, a conversation happening with Coach Panico.
I think it has to do with the fouls on Jeremiah Peak.
Okay. Well, we had him for 2. The board showed 2.
Logan believes he has 1 and is trying to reinsert him. I believe his bookkeeper said, hey, you know he's got 2. Right now, all 3 officials getting together trying to figure things out.
We'd like to congratulate the athletics to 300 club winners tonight. $25 for free.
We're close enough I could ask Logan Wolfram, but if I don't get the answer that he wants, I'll hold that trump card for later. I will say this is my first time at the reservation, and Scoop, the confines are tight. I think they might call them cozy.
I tell you what, it's very fan-friendly. You know, on all 3 sides where there's bleachers, if you're sitting in the front row, you basically have your feet on the court. This is how tight it is, but certainly makes for a tough environment to play in. I think Kirsten mentioned that to me off the air. Not one of her favorite places to play at on the road.
Talk about the shooter's eye here, Kirsten, because at one end, obviously it's standard. You've got the wall and the basket coming out, so it's not contractible. But at the other end, you've got the open end where the student section is. The shooter's eye is completely different at both ends of this gym. How difficult does that make?
It's definitely a lot. It's pretty tricky, especially when you have a student section standing back there. They're in your whole viewpoint. Every shot you take at that free throw line, it's really hard to focus there, but that's no different than any other schools that have their student section right behind you. You kind of just have to zone them out at one point in time.
What's that do for your depth perception? Because it's standard at one end, but at the other, it runs basically all the way to the rafters. Or does it make a difference?
It does throw it off, but in our gym, when we do have the extra seating open, you were able to practice with it. So
the hanger was an advantage there for you.
Absolutely.
Look at her smirk. She's just proud of the home court advantage that the hanger gave them. All right, the conversation is over. I'm not sure. We'll have to get clarification as to what that was about, but that was a significant delay here, Scoop, and all of a sudden we've got a huge stoppage. Now Peak is back in, and we've got a technical being shot.
Well, Peak's being brought back in the game to shoot the technical free throws.
And I'm being told that Fairview's book was not accurate. They did not have a player listed, and somebody on the Ayersville bench caught it, and it's a technical.
And that's why they're going to reinsert Jeremiah Peak with 2 personal fouls to shoot the free throw. And now they will substitute him back out, although I believe clock has to run before you can take him out, but the officials are going to grant that.
They're going to grant a dead ball substitution as Evan Wolfram will check in. You don't see that every day. What did that just do to the tempo here? Did either team benefit from it, or is it a push?
I think that certainly favors Ayersville. We saw a 7-0 run by the Apaches, and we had about, 3-minute delay in action. Peak gets 2 on the board, and now Ewers has control for the Pilots trying to get the lead.
Another 3 off the base of the iron. Long shot means a long board, and here comes Fairview in transition. And Panico's pulling the trigger early. Levi Panico with a West Banco 3.
That's a gutsy shot by Panico. That time really 4 people back for the Pilots. You better hit that shot because you won't get a rebound, but Panico, string music from deep.
Coming out in the press now, breaking at the other end. Boer is checked in, a little hard off the glass, and we have a whistle underneath. Well, that is just great free range if you are Coach Jake Panico. Kirsten, in the pregame, I asked Coach, I said, you've got four good perimeter shooters, 3 in particular beyond the arc, and he said they know they have the green light. They know what a good shot is. They don't need me to yell it from across the court. That's got to make you feel good as a player to know you have that kind of confidence.
Absolutely. Anytime Tim ever said, yeah, go ahead and shoot, you had a little bit more confidence going into that shot and just going into the game in general, knowing that he had that trust in you and just to keep shooting.
Boer will check out. Ayersville goes considerably smaller now. Trailing by 4, 20-16, but with the ball. Stambaugh, the only Ayersville starter yet to get into the books. Matter of fact, all the scoring has been done by the starters so far for Ayersville. Under 20 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Ewers trying to drive, but he's really being stuck to like glue by Scheninger. 10 seconds, 9. He's yet to put anything into motion. Still keeping the dribble, and now he's in trouble. He'll spot up and airmails it again. And he's going to hear it from the Fairview student body as a long half-court shot by Noah Scheninger comes up short, and that will bring us to the end of a track meet of the first 8 minutes of play. After falling behind early, the Apaches take a 4-point lead into quarter number 2, 20-16. We're back after this on DCTV Sports.
Embrace the magic as the Nutcracker Prince comes to life and guides Clara through a blizzard of snowflakes to the land of sweets. The Strady Center for the Arts presents the Fort Wayne Ballet production of the Nutcracker, live in Defiance for one performance only on December 20th. Tickets are on sale now at defiancearts.org.
Stamball Jewelers is your trusted source for diamonds, fine jewelry, watches, and gifts. Whether you're looking for a dazzling engagement ring, a timeless anniversary gift, or a present for someone special, Stamball Jewelers has something for every occasion. Visit us today and discover why we've been serving the community since 1948.
Back at the reservation, the first 8 minutes in the books. The second 8 put up on the scoreboard clock. Brent Balbanon alongside Kirsten Mannon and Scoop Miller saying thank you for joining us on an absolutely frigid Friday night. But things are heating up inside Fairview High School Gymnasium as the Apaches, down by as many as 5 at one point, have a 4-point lead going into quarter number 2. What stands out, Scoop, in your mind that made for such a huge swing in literally the space of about 3.5 minutes?
Well, I think for Fairview, it started with rebounding. You know, after really falling behind 6-2 in the glass, they had 5 of the last 6 rebounds that opening quarter. That combined with a couple shots from beyond the arc, and now that comeback. So right now, Fairview has to feel good about the fact they weathered that storm after trailing early in this one.
Kirsten, I'm going to ask you this, because with 2 early fouls, leading scorer Jeremiah Peak still stays on the bench here, and he's probably going to have to for more than just spot minutes. But what has impressed you the most with regard to the balance that Ayersville put up in that first quarter?
I think just being able to balance the height that they're going up against and knowing that they're going to have to get some outside shots, getting in and penetrating in is just going to be really difficult for them, I think, tonight. And I think being able to balance it out, and I mean, Dylan Dunn opened it up with that first couple points and really start out the game very nice.
Second offensive board off a long shot for Fairview. We'll see if the third time's a charm. Stop and pop jumper halfway down, it spits out. Saved, but right into the hands of 5th time, 6th time, finally, and it pays to be 6'9" if you're Logan Mosier.
Well, that time maybe an ill-advised save underneath the own hoop ends up being 2 points there for Fairview.
Ayersville's going to have to find somebody to step up and take the scoring load right now with Jeremiah Peak on the bench. Stambaugh drives but dishes. Wolfram, spin move but into the defense. Ewers, just 2 points in the early going and a couple of air balls. Kicking it out to Lloyd for 3! And the Draperies swish another West Banco 3.
How about Owen Lloyd, the senior, stepping up, averaging just 4.6 coming in, already up to 7 points.
Nice backdoor cut. Beautiful turn and kiss off the square for Logan Olinger.
Ayersville will need to abandon this defense. Fairview really finding some holes there. That time a nifty backdoor cut and assist inside.
Stambaugh thought about penetrating. Ewers got a little lax with the ball. Here comes Dunn. Stop and pop, and it's swatted away by Mosier.
4 of the first 5 rebounds here in this second quarter belong to the Apaches.
Up by 5, looking for more, but Dunn's got the strip. He's got a 3-on-2. The ball is centered. He's going all the way in and almost had a chance for a 3-point play.
Well, that's a big-time move by Dunn. You know, anytime you get points from your defense, you're going to take it. But that time, Dunn took it right into the big guys inside, did a great job protecting the basketball with his body. And now we'll get a chance to make this a one-possession game if he can hit both ends here, the 2-shot foul.
Dunn, a 64% free throw shooter, uses all of the iron to get it to fall, but you don't get style points. It falls through. 24-20, this is a chance to cut the deficit to 3. Talk about being over your average, not just Owen Lloyd, but Dunn. He averages 4. He's already got 6. Make it 7.
That's huge, getting those secondary players to step up, put points on the board.
Well, Kirsten, you
talked back in the ball game.
You talked about it during the pregame. It doesn't have to be one guy. If 2 or 3 can average 5 or 6, and we're seeing it right now.
Absolutely, and that's just what Coach Wolfram wanted from them, and maybe that's what they worked on all week at practice, making sure that all them guys get the ball and have a chance to shoot, and not just the main 2.
Tight man-to-man defense right now by the Pilots, staying sticky around the perimeter. Olinger picks up his dribble. Cut off. Peak is back on the floor with 2 fouls. Fairview being patient, and he drug his pivot foot on the crossover, and Zedike guilty of the travel.
Yeah, that time just got ahead of himself. Fairview only turned the ball over 1 time in that opening stanza, but 2 quick turnovers here, and Ayersville now could potentially tie it with a 3.
Ewers will be the trigger man on the sideline. He's got a hustle. He was flirting with 5, and he'll lob it into Peak. Jeremiah scored early. He's got 5, but he also has 2 fouls. Ewers out in between the rings. There seemed to be some confusion as to what the set was called. Peak kind of comes off a Boer's screen.
Right now, Ayersville just won.
Baseline lob to Ewers, and the pass was just a bit off.
Now that time they had it set up perfectly, a little back screen there for Ewers, and that time lob pass, the timing wasn't there. 3rd turnover here of this second quarter here for the Pilots. And they've only scored 1 field goal, that Owen Lloyd 3, since Peak left the ball game with 2 fouls in that first quarter.
Tight second quarter. Boy, you saw Olinger there thinking about pulling the trigger. Zedike, boy, great lateral movement, great footwork by Wolfram.
Yeah, that time he fought through a ball screen and was in perfect position. This time he gets picked off.
But the shot missed.
Big rebound by Caden Boer there of the Pilots.
Big boy gets a big rebound. Boer, the really only sizable post on the Ayersville roster. Peak testing the waters, get past near side. Dunn, nice crossover. Oh, great dish. Wolfram for 3, it's short. Boer with the board, taps it back out. Peak, nice crossover into the middle of the paint, and he goes to the line. Boy, that is living dangerously, Kirsten, with 2 fouls. You better be sure, or at least confident, that you are going to pick that up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he knows himself too bad that one just rolled in for him, but now he has a chance to make 2 of these free throws and get some points back up and almost be a tied game.
Well, he is a 95% free throw shooter. I love it when they make the broadcast crew look good. 1 for 1 this trip. Scoop, he's a college level player. I don't think there's any question Jeremiah Peak could play Division III. But I look at him and I think, my goodness, if I'm at Findlay or any team in the GMAC or even the GLIAC for that matter, he could be a really good addition to the roster.
Well, I think his name's probably on the board a few places. I mean, a lot's got to happen between now and then, but certainly with his strength, with his skill sets, and his ability to handle the basketball. I mean, he's got great handles on him. You combine that with his ability to shoot from deep, certainly has the tools to play at that next level.
I think there are a couple MAC schools that he might be a good fit for too, but we're not going to graduate him too early. As driving in, the banks are open as Noah Schinninger puts that one off the center square and down through the hoop. And what an effort by Lloyd to save what seemed to be a sure turnover. They're flirting with 10. They're going to need a timeout, and Coach Wolfram was heads up, came sprinting down the side, loving up the official a little bit, saying thank you very much. Timeout, or that was a sure 10-second violation.
That really was. Great run and jump defense that time by Fairview. After Ayersville nearly threw that one away there on the inbounds, tremendous hustle play to extend it, and a smart timeout by Coach Wolfram.
Let's go ahead and credit the officiating crew here this evening. Jim Troyer, Chris Roop, and Steve Sealscott are the trio here this evening. You get a good look at the Ayersville huddle. Well,
yeah. That's a great veteran crew out there and a great atmosphere here at the reservation, which has been a great GMC rivalry here between these two. The last 8 meetings between these two and the Hardwood have been split, and last year Fairview was able to go on the road and pick up a big 1-point win at the Hangar. And now this year, Ayersville trying to return the favor. The visiting team has won the last 2 games of this series, which speaks volumes of how tight this series has been.
Full court pressure continuing to be employed here by Fairview, but they'll drop back. Peak sprints across the timeline. Coming up on 3 minutes left to go in the first half.
When a fire or natural disaster throws a penalty flag,
let's look at that. Peak's just being face guarded right now. Levi Panico is in his jersey. As Ewers stops and pops and finally gets into the books here in quarter number 2 with his second basket.
Yeah, great dribble move by Ewers and a nice pull up there off the dribble.
Panico with a long 3, almost banked it in. Bodies flying in the middle of the paint. Do we have a foul or a jump ball?
We've
It
got
looks
a foul.
like a foul.
That time, maybe an ill-advised shot by Panico, really not the look they wanted. It was contested. He was off balance. And that time, the Apaches guilty of coming over the back there on the rebound. And now Ayersville can retake the lead here, down by 1 with the basketball.
Foul goes against Jonas Schinninger, his first. 2.5. Uh-oh, look out, in trouble, double team. Stambaugh tries to force it down low to Boer. Boer's smacking his hands together, but he's got to make himself a bigger target. As a guard, I know if I always saw a post drop his hands, there was no way I was going to make that pass. Ewers on the drive. Just look at the sticky perimeter defense. A little too sticky this time by Schinninger, and he's picked up his second.
Yeah, that time Schinninger kind of on an island by himself, trying to do the impossible, slow down Dane Ewers. That time gets whistled a little bit too much of the jersey. I have to commend Fairview right now. They've done a great job on the dynamic duel here tonight, making them work for everything.
Peak right there, and Panico. Oh, it's a charge! Peak has just picked up his third. Mark 2 minutes and 10 seconds in quarter number 2 down as Jeremiah Peak has just picked up his third foul.
And how about that after Schinninger gets whistled for the grab. This time the Apaches able to draw the charge. So, boy, that's a huge play. Remember the last time that Peak left the ball game, that led to a quick 7-0 run by the Apaches.
Well, the lineup looks different, and is Ayersville going to go to a zone here? The answer is no. On the drive, Panico picks up a little hand check, and is that going against Boer? It is.
Well, much better job that time by Levi Panico. You know, after I thought he forced that 3 a couple possessions earlier, that time he took it downhill the rack, kind of initiated that contact. That's a smart play. And now he'll get rewarded heading to the stripe here, trying to add to that 1-point advantage. That one does everything but fall through.
First miss of the night. We'll try and make it a 2-point lead. Almost, but it does fall.
You know, Panico now has half of his 12-point average there. He picks up his 6-point. Lead 2 here for the Apaches.
Stand by, boy. They want a hand check, and I think they're going to get it. Yep. And this one, I believe, is going to go against, well, let's wait and see.
That's Brody Williams.
Yep, his first.
And that time, probably ill-advised. The fact that they're in the penalty, you're way out there, away from the rim there. All eyes are on you. That time, not a lot of contact, but certainly enough to warrant the whistle. Now Ewers string music on the first of two.
Good free throw shooter, but I know Coach Wolfram would like it to be a little bit better at 68%. Most coaches will tell you if you shoot 70% or over, they'll leave you alone. If you're under 70, they own you. He drains his second.
Now that's the second tie we've had tonight. The first one came at 14 apiece, this time at 27. Ayersville trying to weather the storm with Jeremiah Peak on the bench with 3 fouls.
And we've got a foul away from the ball here. There is a ton of banging going on in the paint, and this is going against Owen Lloyd. Lloyd stands in, at least he's listed at 5'10". That may be a little generous. At the same time, he's doing battle with guards where he's given up almost a half a foot. And we got a push underneath, and this is going to be against Mosier.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Mosier was doing that time. He didn't have position and just pushed one of the Pilots out of the play, made that an easy call. Being a player control foul would not be a shooting foul. Fairview will set up some full court pressure, but that will result in a Fairview turnover.
This is a physical ball game. And full court pressure. Dunn decides to take things into his own hands. And now they can set up the half-court offense, coming up on 90 seconds left to go in the first half. Dunn stops and pops from 15. Whatever you had for breakfast, number 4, Coach Wolfram would like you to continue on game day.
No doubt about it. You love his, not only his energy, but his confidence playing downhill.
A cheerleader gets taken out by Meade. They're playing on, and Ewers has got the ball. And a blocking foul. You could see that being set up right in front of us. It was like a giant redwood slowly falling. He tried to sell it, but he went down before contact got made, and the official didn't get deked.
Yeah, that time Meade tried to sell it, but he'll get whistled for his first foul.
And Ewers back to the stripe.
Meanwhile, the free throw line's been awfully good to Ayersville here in the second quarter. Fairview just a little bit too aggressive on defense. Ewers makes him pay. And now the lead up to 3 here for Ayersville. Brent, I think this is big, the fact they're doing this with Jeremiah Peak on the bench with 3 fouls.
And they're most likely going to have to, at least for a portion of the second half as well, as this one around the world once, twice, 3 times, and falls. 8 points in the early going for Ewers. It's a 31-27 lead as we approach the minute mark here in the first half. Olinger releases it to Meade in the high blocks. Look at that, big 6'9" center. Mosier popping out, another long 3. Stambaugh with a nice board. Quickly out to Ewers. Look out, one-on-one, and he finishes with the finger roll.
Great finish, but what a play by Stambaugh to come up that rebound and nifty outlet to Ewers, and now he's into double digits with 10 points. Largest lead here for the Pilots.
Kirsten, is the tempo back to Ayersville's favor in your opinion?
Oh, absolutely. I'm glad they're putting pedal to the metal here and just getting right back into this game.
Mosier pops out, give and go, 2-man game. Charge going to be the call. Olinger has just picked up his 3rd.
What a great play that time by Jackson Stambaugh. Olinger went backdoor when they overplayed there on defense. Nifty pass inside, but Olinger, instead of pulling up, took it to the rack, and Stambaugh with another fine defensive play there for the Pilots. Draws a foul, and that's huge. Olinger now with 3 fouls. Remember, he's the leading scorer for Fairview coming in. And now the Pilots can hold for the last shot, up by 6 here as we hit the 22nd mark.
Dunn sprints it into the front court. 16. Ewers with it. You figure about 9 or 10 seconds is when they'll put the offense in motion. More specifically, number 10 will drive. Dishes. On the drive, Wolfram back out up top. Ewers for 3. Just a bit short. Lloyd with the rebound, and it will not fall. What a first half of basketball. Part track meet, part heavyweight fight, all entertainment. 33-27. Visiting Pilots with the lead here at the reservation. We'll take a quick timeout. We're back with your Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show right after this. You're watching DCTV Sports.
When a fire or natural disaster throws a penalty flag, let ServiceMaster Restore work for you. Anything from minor cleanups to complete overhaul and rebuilding. Contact ServiceMaster by McCann.
Past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org. Stamball Jewelers is your trusted source for diamonds, fine jewelry, watches, and gifts. Whether you're looking for a dazzling engagement ring, a timeless anniversary gift, or a present for someone special, Stamball Jewelers has something for every occasion. Visit us today and discover why we've been serving the community since 1948.
West Banco, building a better bank every day since 1870. Community-focused West Banco. Find out more at westbanco.com.
Back at the reservation, it is time for your Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, helping you achieve your dreams and securing your future. Visit them in Defiance, Bryan, or Napoleon, and online at any time at midwestcommunity.org. Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller. Kirsten Mannon joining us in a tremendous first half of basketball. Hard to believe this is the GMC opener. It almost feels like a late season game. But man, two teams are getting after each other. And a game of spurts after leading by 5 early. Ayersville found themselves trailing by 4 at the end of the first quarter, 20-16. Falling down by as many as 7. They now lead by 6. Yeah, 6 at the half, 33-27. We'll run down your stats in just a second. Kirsten, what sticks out? Anything in particular for both teams through the first 16 minutes?
I think the thing that sticks out to me is the energy that both teams are bringing. Absolutely nobody's stepping back, nobody's sitting. Even the energy on the bench is just wonderful from both teams, seeing how everybody's just diving in, and just that can make or break a game, honestly. If you're not into it with all of your energy and all of your power and your shots, then you're not going to have a good ball game.
Scoop, clearly Fairview is a deeper benched team, but right now, even with leading scorer Jeremiah Peak sitting on the bench with 3 fouls, the Pilots have outscored the Apaches here, and it isn't from the usual suspects. It's been the role players, the support players that Logan Wolfram said he'd been begging over the past 2 weeks. They have responded.
Well, they really have. I think, Peak and Ewers that first quarter held to just a bucket or two combined, but yet Ayersville did a nice job, came out. They had some secondary players start taking over, and I thought that was awfully huge. In fact, they've got 16 points right now off the combination of Owen Lloyd and Dylan Dunn. I think that's huge. That's taken a lot of pressure off Peak and Dunn. And credit Peak and Dunn. They're not forcing things. A lot of times you're averaging north of 20 points a game. You're doing what you can to get your points. These guys aren't doing that. They're letting the game come to them. They've been within the offense. They've gone to the boards hard to try to get second opportunities. An all-around great first half for the Pilots.
Well, let's run down your stat tracker from Arthur Law Firm. If a serious injury from a car crash puts you on the injured list, call the personal injury attorneys at the Arthur Law Firm, serving Northwest Ohio for more than 50 years. Get the compensation you deserve and back in the game with your winning team at Arthur Law Firm. Let's start with the hosts, Fairview. And again, tremendous balance, but underneath their averages right now. The leading scorer has come off the bench in Logan Olinger. He's got 7. He scored 5 of those in the first quarter. 6 points for starting point guard Levi Panico. 4 of those, check that, half of those, coming from the free throw line. 5 points for Hayden Bach off the bench, and then the production drops off. A deuce apiece for Gavin Mead, 6'9" center Logan Mosier, and off the bench Noah Schinninger. On the flip side, for Logan Wolfram and the Ayersville Pilots, Dane Ewers, just 2 points through the first quarter. He explodes for 8 in the second, including 4 for 4 from the free throw line. He's got 10. Then the rest, Welcome aboard, Dylan Dunn. We see you, number 4. He's got 9 points, including the opening basket of the game. A West Banco 3. Owen Lloyd, likewise, getting in line. He's got 7 points, including a three-pointer. Those two are both averaging 4 points per game, Scoop. They have already nearly and or doubled their per-game average.
Yeah, that's incredible. They've really stepped up. And Brent, more than putting points on the board, it's been just their mindset. You can see that, hey, if you're not going to guard me honestly, I'm going to make you pay. They've also gone downhill when they've overcommitted on them. So, again, we saw signs of that, especially last week when they hosted Ayersville, I thought, where they had the ability to drive and get deep in the lane, but yet they didn't look to finish. Tonight, it looks like those two were looking to put the ball in the hole.
Jeremiah Peak, even with 3 fouls, also has 7 points. No bench points so far for the Pilots. It's all stacked up to a 33-27 Ayersville lead. Those are your Arthur Law Firm Stat Tracker stats. We're back with more of the Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show right after this. From the reservation at Fairview, you're watching DCTV Sports.
For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org.
At Arthur Law Firm, we understand how overwhelming life can be after being seriously injured in a car accident. With over 50 years of experience, Arthur Law Firm has a track record of getting the results you deserve. When you don't know where to turn, get answers with Arthur. Call us today.
3 minutes and 8 seconds before we resume second half play here at the reservation. Visiting Ayersville, trying to snap a 2-game losing skid, leading Post Fairview 33-27. The Apaches entering this one at 3-1. They're on a 3-game winning streak. Something's got to give, and someone will pick up their conference opening victory in about another 16 minutes. All right, we're going to go inside the Ayersville locker room. Kirsten, you are Coach Logan Wolfram. What's your message to your team?
First off, keep up the energy. Keep on going in there and just keep strong and keep on doing what you're doing. But also, work on maybe getting into penetrating a little bit. You can see that the paint is kind of wide open on a lot of these drives, and that I know there is a length that they're going up against, but be able to find out a way to get in there a little bit and make some easy buckets and not stress too much your three-point game. Because eventually, Fairview's going to shut that down, knowing that's how a lot of their points have been coming into this game.
On the flip side, let's go inside the Fairview locker room. Scoop, if you're Coach Panico, what's your message to your team?
Well, I think the message, we got to play smart. You know, they were too sporadic, I thought, that opening half. I love the aggressiveness they came out with, but then when they started getting whistling for fouls, they didn't make any type of adjustments. Ayersville made a lot of hay, I thought, in that second quarter from the charity stripe, something that I think Fairview has to limit here in the second half if they want to pull the comfort behind win here tonight.
We've seen spurts where the tempo has favored one team for about 3 or 4 minutes, and then all of a sudden it's as if the wind just changed directions and the other team got things moving. Is there anything that you can account for that, or is that just the nature of these two teams' styles of play?
Well, for me, anyways, I'll start with it while Kirsten thinks it over. I think that the crowd has really impacted both teams here tonight. You know, you've seen where you get a good bucket, you get a little excitement, you see the energy level maybe picking up a little bit. It carries over the defensive end. We've seen that multiple times here as we had 6 different lead changes here in this opening 16 minutes.
And it's no secret, too, if you want to run, especially if you're Fairview and get transition offense, the first thing you have to do is board. You can't run without the ball. And right now, it looks like Ayersville's done a pretty decent job given the fact that they are greatly outsized. Kirsten, how do you keep that up in the second half?
I think you really gotta look at what you're going up against. Look for those smart passes. Make sure that if you're taking the rebound out, don't just throw it to wherever. Make sure that the defense isn't there and make a good pass. Fake a pass to make a pass. That's what Frank always told us, and that stuck with me for a long time. And so I think just keeping those fundamentals in mind as you're going into the rest of this game is definitely important.
Scoop, I'm thinking her former coaches are going to want residuals after this. She's quoting them left and right here.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
Well, the final 12 seconds ticking off the halftime clock here as we get set for quarter number 3. Ayersville 33. Fairview 27, and we'll wait and see who takes the court for both squads to begin the second 16 minutes. And with those 3 fouls, Jeremiah Peak is back on the court for Ayersville. But Kirsten, he's got to play smart.
Absolutely, he does. Needs to know where he is, and if he's going to foul, he better make it a smart one.
On the flip side, same starting 5 that began the game for Fairview, beginning the second half as well. Man, I'm just looking at the front court right now. I mean, Hayden Bach at 6'6", and Owen Lloyd, who technically is listed at 5'11". My goodness, it should give you a little bit of an idea of just what Ayersville's up against here this evening.
How about this matchup? Logan Ollinger, Jeremiah Peak, both with 3 fouls going at each other.
Oh, did they just call an offensive foul? Yes, they did. Boy, that was dangerous. It's exactly what you could have expected. Ollinger went after him with 3 fouls, but now he's just picked up his 4th.
That time I thought that was a gutsy move by Ollinger. The fact that he kind of threw that offhand out there, got a little separation with the push-off. Veteran official Chris Roop all over it. Boy, that's a huge play just 10 seconds into this third quarter.
Well, they're putting Mosier at the top of this defense, and it doesn't matter. Dylan Dunn picking up where he left off in the first half with another West Banco 3.
How about Dunn? He's now up to 12 points here on the night. Panico with a teardrop at the other end. Huge hoop there to cut the lead down to 7.
Stambaugh slows it down. Peak surveying the defense off a Stambaugh screen. Lloyd picks up his dribble. Somebody's got to come help him. How do you lose Peak? Heat check. Got it! Oh, my goodness, and he blows a kiss to the Fairview crowd.
Breakdown that time by the Apache defense. They leave Peak all alone. When he can catch and shoot in rhythm, good luck.
Panico with a beautiful pump fake, but this one goes begging off the right side. Great box out by Ewers. They want to run up the court to Stambaugh. Can't get the roll, but he'll head to the free throw line. And this foul is going to go against Panico, his 2nd.
All right, now Fairview just a little bit stagnant. They're kind of caught in between on offense and defense, not really all connected at either end. Result, Ayersville's gotten a little separation here in the opening minute, 16 seconds here of quarter 3.
Stambaugh, 67% free throw shooter. First point of the night comes at the 6:44 mark. He has been playing some tremendous defense. And now all 5 Ayersville starters are in the books, and his 2nd is pure.
How about this 8-2 run here in the opening minute plus here for the Pilots?
Largest lead of the night for either team. Still plenty of time left to go. But Ayersville's come out swinging to start the second half. On the drive, they're going to wave off the basket. Panico had banked in a dipsy doodle. And Jake Panico, rather reserved, tried to lobby to get that in. The foul's going to go against Stambaugh, his 2nd. Lob pass in between the circles. Zedike, not a threat from out there. This young man is. Panico surrenders the basketball. Bach around the world, it kicks out.
Ayersville continues to control the glass at the defensive end, limit the Apaches to 1 and done.
Dunn, beautiful move. Nice pump fake, up and under move.
Well, there's that finish we were talking about. We knew he had the ability to go downhill, but now he's looking to finish. How about this, Brent? 14-point advantage here for the Pilots as they've come out swinging here, as they've gone on a nice run here to start this third quarter.
A 14-point advantage, Scoop, and Dylan Dunn has 14 points. Just saying.
10-2 run here, not even 2 minutes into quarter 3 here by Ayersville.
Lob pass to Mosier at the top of the key. He'll surrender the basketball. Meade's feeling it, but leaves his 3 ball short. Peak with the board. He wants to run. It's 1-on-1. 360 spin move, and he's stripped from behind by Panico. Wow. Zedike surrenders. Panico thought about it. Zedike on the drive, dishes. Panico catch and shoots. Got it!
A huge shot there by Levi Panico. That time barely had the ball long enough to get his fingerprints on it. Nice quick release. A West Banco 3 gets it down to 11 points.
Panico, the only Apache to score so far here in the second half. Dunn. Was he thinking about a heat check? Lloyd. And Ayersville slowing things down just a little bit. Meade coming out, really putting pressure on Lloyd. Somebody's got to help him. Ewers on the drive, right around Mosier and lays it in.
Oh, my goodness, that time a complete mismatch. Ewers is able to take the big man to the rack. Coach Panicle's going to burn one.
45-32, a 13-point lead. We'll take a quick timeout. Back with more from the reservation. You're watching DCTV Sports.
At Arthur Law Firm, we understand how overwhelming life can be after being seriously injured in a car accident. With over 50 years of experience, Arthur Law Firm has a track record of getting the results you deserve. When you don't know where to turn, get answers with Arthur. Call us today.
Well, there you get a good look at the Apache huddle. No panic, but very businesslike. But right now, Ayersville definitely has their attention. Up 33-27 at the intermission. And the Pilots have outscored the host Apaches 9-5 here in the second half. As a matter of fact, the only Apache to score is Levi Panico. Kirsten, what's the difference in your opinion to open up quarter number 3?
I think it's really awesome. I might be mistaken, but they opened up the same way they did that first quarter with Dylan Dunn having a 3 and then Jeremiah Peak having a 3. I think that is a great way to come out and kind of, in a sense, show Fairview what's going to happen the rest of this game. If they just keep with it and keep shooting when they're open and making smart shots, and if they foul, smart fouls, I think that'll get them a long way in the rest of this game.
Scoop on the flip side here, if you're Fairview, there's plenty of time. We're not even halfway through quarter number 3, but you've got to make a response here, don't you?
They do. They have to play the sense of urgency. They have to get within an offense. Right now, they just have not rebounded. There's a nice downhill take by Zedak as he's able to get an easy deuce.
And they're
Great
coming
response
out of pressure.
out of the timeout.
Oh, stand ball. That's going to be a travel. And he knew it.
And, Brent, one of the things I think the Apaches have to adjust to, I think all week they probably prepared on stopping 2 guys. But right now it's very clear you've got to stop more than that.
Yep.
And right now they really haven't made that adjustment. We've seen some mismatches left and right.
Back with the ball on the drive. Panico can't get the roll, but he does draw the contact.
Well, this is huge. This time I like how Fairview's not panicking. They're coming out. They're playing within themselves. That time a good dribble drive by Levi Panico. Nearly got the and one, but he'll head to the charity stripe. Again, this is where Ayersville made their hay in the second quarter. Fairview now needs to return the favor by going downhill, attacking the rim. Scoring with the clock stopped, the first of 2 off the front of the iron for Panico.
That is Stambaugh's 3rd foul. He's been by far and away the most active defender for Ayersville, but he stays on the court. Second free throw is up by Panico. He's got it. He's 4 of 6 tonight, and it cuts the deficit to 10. Ewers sprinting into the front court, almost lost the ball. Peak driving baseline, stripped from behind, out of bounds, off of Panico.
Good transition defense that time by the Apaches. I like how Ayersville still trying to go downhill, still trying to be the aggressor.
The jawing between Panico and Peak is off the inbounds. Stambaugh just kind of floats down the middle of the lane. They lose him.
Well, that time a simple zipper screen results in an easy deuce for Stambaugh.
Far wing, long 3, skims off the front of the iron. Mosier with the board. And got caught in midair and throws it away. Here comes Dunn. Almost loses it, and he does. I know that's tough. He's been aggressive, though, tonight. You'll take an aggressive mistake every now and then, won't you, Kirsten?
Oh, absolutely. If you're not being aggressive, then you're not going to ever win any games at the end of the day.
I thought she was going to say, if you're not aggressive, you're not a Pilot.
Well.
Kind of goes without saying, right?
Absolutely.
Wow. A little passive-aggressive sitting in between us here. 47-35, lead is a dozen. Bach surrenders the basketball. Skip pass to the near wing, another 3 on the way. It's short by Zedike, follows his own shot and then throws it away. and they're lucky it went out of bounds off of Ewers.
Good hustle play by Zedike to track down his own miss. But then flirted with danger, tried to force it inside. Fortunately, that one glances off a Pilot.
Scoop, is Fairview maybe settling for some long threes a little too early in their offensive sets?
I really think so. I mean, I think they've got a size advantage inside. And they really need to go inside out.
Now when they go in, they look great. Just like that, Jonas Schinninger with his first basket of the night. It's a West Banco 3.
That's a huge 3. Gets it down to single digits.
Stambaugh trying to dribble out of problems, and instead Panico with the steal. Just kind of throws it up. Noah Schinninger is there. He's going to go up strong. That's way too hard. Bodies flying everywhere, and Meade finally finishes. And here comes Fairview making a run. Down by 7. Ewers stripped from behind. We're going to have a jump ball. Yes. And the arrow stays with, it looks like, Ayersville.
A great job by the Apache defense. After only forcing 4 turnovers the entire first half, they've forced 4 here in this third quarter. Some of them have turned into points at the other end. This one, even though it's not a turnover, it does flip the arrow.
Yep.
Great hustle play by Fairview, and that's how you're going to get back in ball games.
Well, pass into Ewers. Uh-oh, look out, that's an offensive foul. You saw it coming.
Yeah, how about Jonas Schinninger? That's the second time tonight he's drawn a charge. That's a big play because Ewers had the look they wanted. He was isolated one-on-one down there in the low post, but Schinninger just a heads-up smart play. And that's going to result in another turnover for the Pilots. And look out now. Here come the Apaches.
Here comes Panico in particular. Challenges against Peak and goes over their best man. And they're jawing at each other.
Well, that's got to be their game. Going downhill, going to the rack. Ewers dribbles in the trap area, picks it up. Coach Wolfram bails him out with a timeout before the turnover.
Best on best. And we're not even through the third quarter. 47-42. You knew a run was coming from Fairview. They pulled back to within 5. We'll take a quick timeout. Back with more from the reservation. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com.
Second buzzer sounds as we welcome you back to Fairview. 2:38 left to go in quarter number 3. Pilots leading by 5, 47-42.
I remember the Pilots were up 14 not long ago, but a 13-4 run here by Fairview has them within 2 possessions.
Lloyd picks up his dribble. Stambaugh comes out to help him. Meade right in his jersey. Dunn on the drive. I thought he hesitated a bit. Ewers. Cut off, displacement, kicks, done. Good ball movement right now by the Pilots. Peak stutter steps. They'll reverse it. Ewers, we got a blocking foul. What? No, an offensive foul. I thought I saw the official come down to his waist.
Illegal block there, and Jeremiah Peak, I believe, is going to be the call. So that's going to be 4 on Peak. And right now, an opportunity for Fairview to perhaps not just shrink that deficit, perhaps to overtake a 14-point deficit and take the lead here in the final 2:10 here of quarter 3.
Boy, Mark 2:10 down. At 2:10 in the second quarter, Peak picked up his 3rd. At 2:10 in the third quarter, he's picked up his 4th. Panico off the screen, spots up, tried to sell it. Offensive putback no good, out of bounds off of Ayersville. It is physical.
That's 5 offensive rebounds now for the Apaches here in this third quarter. That time Panico kind of forced one up there. No need to. You've got Peak on the bench. You've got good advantage inside. They'll get an extra opportunity here.
Panico, they screen to get him open. Instead, he'll put it on the floor and picks up the foul on the drive.
Yeah, that's the game they want. Ayersville is over the limit, so they're in the penalty. So instead of chucking threes, take it right at that defense. That time, smart play by Panico. He's able to draw the contact, and now he'll head to the stripe here. chance to make this a one-possession game if he can hit both ends.
Evan Wolfram with his first. Panico hits his first.
Now he's up to a game-high 15 points now to lead all scorers.
He averages 12. They've needed every bit of it as they're still down by 4. Second is on the way. It's pure.
It's a one-possession game, full court pressure here, run and jump by the Apaches.
Ewers a little out of control. There's where once you cross the timeline, and even if you get to the top of the arc, Kirsten, I know he's aggressive, but sometimes discretion's the better part of valor.
Oh, absolutely. Sometimes there's a time and a place to keep running back and forth, but other times you got to learn when to slow it down. And I think they need to find the middle ground right now before we get too ahead of ourselves.
Boy, look at Lloyd, quick hands, and swats it away from Panico. Panico, I swear, is the happiest player on this court. He's just smiling at everything. Love of the game. The inbounds. Here's a guy who's just seemingly due. Bach with only 5 points on the night. Scheninger spins, fades away, around the world, nothing doing. Mead with a strong board. He'll go to the line. Ewers picks up his second.
Great hustle play that time by Gavin Mead. That was a rebound he had no business coming up with. And right now the Pilots playing it very frustrated, Brent. The fact that that they're worried about the physicality, but they're not finishing possessions by checking out. And now Mead is able to get the shooter's touch on the first and 2 from the stripe. And now Fairview again with Jeremiah Peak on the bench continues to creep a little closer. Mead with 5 points, looking for number 6 here, and he gets it.
It's an excellent free throw.
They're going to wave it off.
Oh, they're going to say violation?
Lane violation.
Wow, that is big. All right, $1:20 left to go in the third quarter. The lead cut to 2. Dunn with purpose into the front court. In between the circles. They'll run a little bit of a weave. Wolfram. Whoops. Thought that ball might have been kicked, but they play on. Stambaugh to the elbow, and it's right through the fingertips of Wolfram.
Yeah, right now 7 turnovers in the third quarter alone for Ayersville. And what was once a 43-32 advantage is now just a 2-point game. Fairview with a chance to tie or take the lead with a 3.
They're going to try and tie it. That is a heat check from Olinger. Nothing doing. Loose ball, middle of the paint. Wolfram, a little dipsy doodle. Jackrabbit running, and now he'll slow it down. Wise move, and if you're Ayersville, you're probably better served to take the final shot of the quarter. You can say yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. And they're going to take a little air out of the ball, maybe try and catch a little bit of their own. Ewers working against Scheninger. Dunn. 5 points so far in the quarter. Figure in about 3 or 4 seconds, they'll put the offense in motion. They switch. Ewers is double teamed. Oh, and they bail him out with a foul. Noah Scheninger came out to help, but he put a hip into him.
Yeah, nice job by Ewers that time to sell the call, but not a bad play by Fairview. That's just their 3rd team foul here in quarter 3, so the Apaches still can give one more here in a final 8.4. They put Peak back in here with 4 fouls for a little offense here in the final possession.
Peak is in. We'll see if they run a set for him. Ewers tries to drive baseline. A little contact. Whoa! Is it a foul? Yes, it is.
Boy, that's going to be number 4 coming up on Jonas Scheninger. Just really ill-advised foul there. That time Ewers was so far behind the basket, he really did not have a play. Even though he had 1 to give, that's not the guy you want giving that foul.
No. So now a baseline inbounds. Ewers in between a triple team, and he draws the foul with 2.3 seconds left.
That's a smart play that time by Ewers, and credit to Ayersville that time. That was a great call on that baseline out of bounds. They isolated Ewers, got the lob. And credit Ewers, instead of panicking and throwing one up, he's able to pump fake, get his guy out of control. First of 2 up and in. Huge, huge free throw by Ewers, and they'll get Peak out here to not risk a 5th foul here in this third quarter.
Ewers 5 for 5 on the night, looking to make it a half a dozen. And with it, to give his team a 4-point lead. He does just that. 49-45, three-quarters court shot by Panico, showing off the football arm, but not close. And we are through 3 quarters of play. Ayersville has withstood multiple runs. They enjoy a 4-point advantage going into the final 8 minutes of play. Nothing decided. Stick around and see what quarter number 4 has in store. We've got it for you on DCTV.
Discover affordable transfer opportunities at Northwest State.
Start here and save thousands on tuition.
Our advising team will help you get your credits transferred.
So don't wait another minute. Get started today.
For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org.
Well, it is doubled as part track meet, part heavyweight fight, all entertainment. Final 8 minutes put up on the scoreboard clock as we welcome you back to the reservation at Fairview High School. Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller and former Pilot standout Kirsten Mannon. Fourth and final quarter, 49-45. The visiting Ayersville Pilots lead the host Apaches. All right, Scoop, what have you got for board work and turnovers through 3 quarters?
Through 3 quarters, it's kind of a wash. Fairview does have 1 more rebound than Ayersville, but one thing to note, Brent, Fairview has 11 offensive rebounds.
Wow.
6 of them coming in quarter 3 where they made that big run.
All right, Kirsten, as an athlete here, you can get caught up in the tension, but at the same time, you don't want to get away from what led you to this, for both teams for that matter. Do you keep an eye on the clock other than the score? How do you mentally handle a tight ball game in the fourth and final quarter?
I think definitely being aware of what the score is, but not necessarily focusing on that and not making sure you don't want to have all the points. That's not your goal. You're trying to get your team to win. It's not about you. I think a big thing is also keeping an eye on the clock, knowing when you need to shoot and not forcing it, especially during, if there's a timeout or just having smart shots with that clock.
Situational basketball.
Absolutely.
49-47 after Panico hits the basket. Dunn thought about it on the drive. He's gone, I don't want to say into a shell, but he's not as aggressive as he was to start the third quarter. Certainly the opening of the ball game. Lloyd. And this is where, again, you run the danger, Scoop. If you're Ayersville, yeah, you're milking clock, but are you taking the momentum out of your own offense? And we've got a whistle. The foul's going to be charged against Zedike, his first.
That time, Zedike a little guilty of grabbing the Pilots by the jersey, something the Pilots have really been begging for here, I think, in the last 4 or 5 minutes of clock time.
Well, Zedike asked the official what was it. Was it the jersey grab? And that's what the official said. As Ewers hits the deck. I believe I saw Zedike then say, "Sir, I appreciate your basketball acumen, and I will never do it again."
And right there, Fairview kind of bailed him out. Looked like the Pilots threw the ball into a trap area. They had 2 guys right there, but a quick second foul just 51 seconds into this fourth quarter.
Which could play a key factor as this game wears on. Boy, Ewers dangerous. Double teamed on the baseline drive. Lloyd. Good perimeter movement. Dunn cut off by Zedike. Ewers on the drive, switches from the right to the left hand. They're going to call a charge. Oh, my. And Coach Wolfram is fit to be tied on that Ayersville bench.
Yeah, if you're Coach Wolfram, you have to be careful here because, that was just a tough call. Good take that time, and that time Fairview, fortunately, they didn't get whistled for another foul. Going to end up being a turnover here by the Pilots.
Nice drive around the world, and look at this. Panico dishing off, but Levi Panico has taken over right now.
Well, he's figuring out he's got to go to the rack instead of trying to shoot over the top. That time, a great backdoor move, a rim run, a great find inside, a good-looking finish.
Tied at 49. You've got to run some offense here. You can't get too stagnant now if you're Ayersville. Plenty of time left to go as we approach 6 minutes. Ewers spins.
And right now, Ayersville offense has just gotten away from them.
Lloyd on the drive, running left-hander, no good. Stambaugh makes the strip. Panico with the facial. Here comes Zedike. 1-on-3, he'll slow it down. Panico, jab step, drives in against Wolfram, and he got beat and put a shoulder into him.
Great job that time by Levi Panico, realizing he had a one-on-one. Pilots playing very aggressive, 25 feet from the basket. He was able to beat his man off that quick first step.
All right, mark it down. 5:50 left to go in the game with 4 fouls. Leading scorer, Jeremiah Peak, back on the court for the Pilots.
Well, I think he needs to be, because Ayersville just has not really had a sniff offensively. They've got to find a way to get some offense.
Swinging it back. Fairview has not led at all in the second half. Trying to change that here. Strip from behind. Ewers is there. Look up. He's got a 3-on-2. He's going to stop. Nice up and under move. He did everything but finish. Ball knocked out of bounds by Stambaugh.
That's a big-time move by Ewers, and you just got to flush that. He had everything but the icing on that one. Just a big-time fake. Stayed under control. That's a tough break. That was a hoop that Pilots could have used.
On the drive, stopping and popping, and airmailed from about 5 feet out baseline by Olinger. Ewers, he's pretty much running the point guard chores right now. Done for 3. Yes! He's saving his best for quarter number 4.
How about Dunn steps up there with that West Banco 3. And that's what entering Peak will do.
Charge at the other end. Zedike called for his second. Was that Lloyd that got back and got set? They're jawing at each other right now.
And that time, Zedike just a little bit too much out of control. I thought great position by the Pilots. He had the double team. That's when you want to maybe go inside out. Instead, a huge foul, the third of this quarter for Fairview. Just one to give here in the final 5 minutes.
Stambaugh slows it down. Again, up 52-49. Dunn. Stambaugh playing a little catch. Now we got a 3-man weave in between the circles. Ewers pops out. They screen to get Peak open in the corner. Skip pass. Dunn releases it. Lloyd on the drive. Dunn on the pump fake. Releases again. Lloyd, far corner. Hey! Next man in.
Oh, my Lloyd. What a shot that time by Owen from the corner. Again, that was great offense. They did everything right. Great floor spacing, great movement. Playing really connected now together at the offensive end.
Ball out of bounds. It will be Pilot possession. I'm looking up, and it's not just one. It's a couple of starters who have answered the call. Dylan Dunn and Owen Lloyd. Between the two of them coming into tonight, they both averaged 4 points per ball game. What if I told you tonight, 17 for Dunn and 10 for Lloyd?
Incredible, just incredible. And a 6-0 run once Coach Wolfram reinserted Peak into the lineup makes him a little bit tougher guard.
Ewers spins, goes up against a double team. Count it, and one coming.
Well, this continues to be a game of runs, and right now Ayersville on a good one themselves. 8-0 run here after we're not up at 44. And how about Ewers there? Another athletic play. He's up to 16 points. Chance to make it 17 here, going for the and one. What a play.
Shot is up, shot is good. And the Pilot faithful with 3:59 left to go, beginning to believe. We'll have a sub, pair of subs. Bach and Olinger will take a seat. Panico will walk it up the court. This kid is instant offense. Give and go, they stay with him. Lloyd right on his hip, they'll screen again. Spin move on the drive, Ewers with the rejection on Williams. Top of the key, long three goes begging off the left side by Schinninger. Loose ball underneath, Meade behind the back, and wow. Panico is there for the lay-in. Panico is the only Apache to score so far here in the fourth quarter.
And once again, second chance points for Ayersville. 4 offensive rebounds here in the fourth quarter, up to 15 for the game. Second chance points is keeping the Apaches in it.
All right, you got 3:31 left to go in the contest. You are up by 7, so a minimum 3-possession game. At the same time, you don't want to take yourself out of rhythm, which is what I think Ayersville did a little bit earlier in this quarter. So, Kirsten, where's Baby Bear's porridge? Where's the happy medium? Still running your offense, but don't force anything if it's not there.
Absolutely. I think that Dane has done a really great job taking it to the basket and knowing what he's capable of and going in there, but he's got to be careful. He does have 4 fouls going into this, and that if he trips up just right, he might get a foul called on him again. So I think being able to get everybody to ball, but being confident in what you're going to do as well.
Well, no surprise here, Scoop. After the made basket, Fairview's coming out in full court pressure.
Yeah, they're going to try to jump here in the backcourt if they can, force to a trap area.
Dunn with the big no-no, picking up his dribble across half court. Stambaugh had the baseline, but he's not thinking shot right now. They're thinking milk the clock. Dunn.
Brent Ayersville needs to take advantage of the fact that Fairview has no fouls to give, so stay aggressive. Try to find a way to get to the rack and to the line.
Peak. Baseline Ewers. He's cut off. Under 3 minutes left to go in the ball game. Lloyd's picked up his dribble. Stambaugh comes to help. And a reach-in foul is going to be called against Williams, his 3rd. But they are now out of rope.
That's a great possession that time by Fairview. They got some dribble penetration. They got a low post touch. They played strong with the basketball. After turning the basketball over 7 times in that third quarter, the Pilots with just 1 turnover here in the fourth quarter, and that was the offensive foul call that was, we'll say a little iffy maybe.
Somebody in between us thinks so. I tell you what, Stambaugh is not a scoring threat, but at 68%, he has been perfect tonight from the foul line.
Yeah, he's really stepped up. He's had a steady floor game. He's looked very confident, and all these points are huge, and that time he hits the back end, so gets it back to a 9-point game here. The Apaches need to have a little sense of urgency here. Need to convert right here.
Panico, and a hand check about 28 feet out will be called on Lloyd. That'll be his 3rd. Team foul number 3.
And right now, they're going to have to do a better job hedging that screen. They're setting a lot of ball screens, trying to go downhill, particularly on that right side there for the Apaches. Still a foul to give here for Ayersville.
The inbounds, a little bit of daylight.
Right now, Ayersville just wants a solid offensive possession here, up by 9.
Lloyd Johnny on the spot, done. Boy, they almost trapped him in the corner, and now the on-ball defense is really picking up by Fairview. A late decision, bodies flying, but no call. Williams on peak, and boy, that's
nice.
It's a roll of the dice there, but it's one you got to take if you're Fairview.
Yeah, that time, nice job not only getting the ball to Jeremiah Peak, who we mentioned is a 95% free throw shooter, but that time Peak recognizing he had that whole right side, took it strong to the rack, drew the contact, easy call for the officials. And now this is what you want to be, up 9 with their best free throw shooter on the line here. Still a lot of time here at 2:21.
Yep. Peak with just 3 points in the second half after picking up his 4th foul with a little over a couple minutes left to go in the 3rd. He's got 10 on the night. That's half his average. And if somebody would have told you he would only be at 10 points this deep in the game, and yet Ayersville would have a 9-point lead, would you have believed it if they told you that prior to tip-off? Peak at the stripe. Ice water in his veins.
And this is where Fairview has to understand you cannot put him to the foul line. You just cannot. Take your chances on other people. He's been that proven shooter.
He's off on his 2nd, but it's a 10-point lead. Oh, wow. Heat check. They didn't run any offense there, and it's 1 and done. Lloyd scrambles, and now, if you're Fairview, at what point is that going to be a double dribble? Yes. I was about to say, at what point do you have to extend the game and start fouling? Well, you don't have to worry about it right now with the turnover.
Yeah, that time, good pressure, forced that double dribble call on Dane Ewers. And Fairview still has time. You don't have to chuck the first thing you see. So get in the offense Why not find a way to get to the foul line? Try to lengthen this game out here as we approach the 2-minute mark of this one.
Olinger coming off a screen. He'll spot up for three. Kind of shot put that ball. And Stambaugh, he has been an anonymous voice in the chorus tonight, but Kirsten, they don't have a 10-point lead this late in the game without the play of Jackson Stambaugh.
Correct. He has been an absolutely great player tonight. Just great court awareness and knowing where to be and when to be there. And while I don't even know how many points he's got.
She's so speechless with Jackson's play tonight.
He's done awesome, and just like Coach wanted them, he wanted them to have 4 to 5 points each, and for all of them to have more than 5 coming off all your starters is just amazing.
He's got 6, now make it 7. Scoop, I'm as impressed, if not more so, though, with Stambaugh's defense tonight.
I really have been as well. Just an all-around solid performance. Hasn't tried to do too much, but he's played awfully hard at both ends. There he hits a couple big free throws to get the lead to a dozen.
Fairview's got to hustle now, down by a dozen. Panico spots up, around the world it kicks out. Lloyd almost had it, it's out of bounds off his fingertips.
Well, Ayersville had rebounded the last 5 Fairview misses, but this one will be a team rebound for the Apaches. And now if you're Fairview, boy, you're running out of opportunities. You have to be efficient offensively from here on out.
Oh, wide open in the near corner, Meade, and he buries it. They needed that. And a defensive breakdown by Ayersville on the West Bank 03 as it cuts the deficit to 9. Kirsten, no surprises here. If you're Ayersville, you should be expecting full court pressure.
Oh, yes, absolutely. They've already brought it out a couple times this quarter, and just they need to expect that pressure and know how to handle it. Don't stop right as soon as you cross half court. That's a big no-no in basketball. You'll get stuck in the corner.
So you're down by 3 right now. If you're Fairview, obviously you're going for a steal. If you don't get it, how long before you have to foul? Immediately.
Hey, I just waited for my coaches to say red light, and I don't do it.
Okay, Scoop, I'll ask you. How long before Fairview has to foul?
Well, you're going to foul immediately unless the ball's in Jeremiah Peak's hands.
Yes.
And then you're going to force him to take a couple extra seconds off the clock, pass the basketball. But you have to lengthen this game out now. You're still down 3 possessions.
Well, Peak being dogged, they're trying to get it to him. They get it into Stambaugh. Back to Ewers, and you can't be too picky right now if you're Fairview. Over the top, look out. This could be an easy breakaway. Peak draws the foul off of Panico. Well, they got it, and really the best of both worlds because they milked about 15 to 20 seconds off the clock and then got the foul.
And that's a smart play by Peak. It was a 2-on-1, and sometimes people are saying, well, why didn't you pass it? Well, remember, he's a 95% free throw shooter, so keep the ball in his hands, take your chances with him at the stripe. First one up and in, so great response there against that Apache full court press. Ayersville gets it back up to 10.
Wow. And all of a sudden, the gym, with the exception of one sliver of the visitor section, becoming deathly quiet here at the reservation. Peak rips the knot on.
And once again, Coach Wolf from offense, defense, takes Peak out of the ball game with 4 fouls.
They got to hustle. Zedike across the timeline. Boy, nice defense there by Lloyd to push him off the block. Panico from about 20 feet out leaves it short. Longboard kicks out. Ewers has it. He's got Dunn on his right side. He comes to a jump stop, almost drug his pivot foot, and Fairview's got a foul. They do with a $1:10 left to go.
Yeah, the Pilots have been really solid at the defensive end, but a lot of that's been the fact that Fairview has taken some tough shots here down the stretch.
That's going to be number 5 on Logan Olinger. His night is done. He will foul out with 7 points.
Yeah, tough night for Olinger, a guy they really need on the floor, 25 to 30 minutes. He did not get that tonight with the foul difficulties he had.
Dunn short on his first. Dillon from the charity stripe this season, 64%. 17 on the evening. He's been averaging 4 coming into this one. Looking for 18 here. Springy leg release. A little too springy. Apaches have to spring into action here with barely over a minute. This is a deep three, and Lloyd has been there. He just has a nose for where that ball's going.
What a great rebound by Owen.
Dunn will go up with the left hand, leaves it a little bit long. Long three, doesn't catch anything. Bodies flying, and what do we got here? No call.
At that time, Seedyke doing all he could to try to get to that rebound.
Logan Wolfram.
He wanted the goaltending at this end. I don't blame him. The backboard was slapped there off that missed layup.
Timeout. Did they get it in time? Yes, with the full court pressure. And 48 and 1/10 seconds left to go in this ball game. 65-54. All right, first things first. Kirsten, if you're Ayersville, get the ball in bounds.
Yes.
Who are your first target, maybe your first two targets?
Well, Jeremiah and Dane Ewers, ideally. That's who I'd get it to.
It was not a trick question.
No.
If they are both covered, if you're Fairview, it really doesn't make any difference who gets it, does it, Scoop? You've got to foul immediately now.
You have to foul immediately, and right now Logan Wolfram, you would think they're going to throw it into Jeremiah Peak. Remember, there's no 5-second count in the backcourt, so hang on to the basketball. Force them to foul. If they don't foul, you get to 8 or 9, and you burn a timeout. You take it out, and you do the same thing again. So right now, the Pilots just need to be strong with the basketball, finish this game away at the free throw line.
48 and 1/10 seconds left to go. This is just the conference opener, folks. Any indication of what the Green Meadows Conference is going to be like the rest of the season, and I don't care where you're at, buy a ticket.
Oh, no doubt. Both these teams, I think, have to feel they have a legit shot of being in contention. Here's going to be a turnover.
It's going to be, yep.
Yours was not reestablished. That ball was deflected back his way.
It was a good idea, but Scoop, as you mentioned, Ewers had not stepped back into play.
Yeah, you have to reestablish with both feet. I don't think he had his second foot down, so a great call by veteran official Jim Troyer.
So Fairview gets what they wanted, the turnover, but now they've got to hustle. Panico throws up a prayer, and he's fouled on a three by Lloyd. Not only is it Lloyd's fourth, but the clock stops with 3 free throws coming for Levi Panico.
Yeah, one of the few mistakes we've seen tonight from Owen Lloyd, the fact that was going to be a tough three that Panico was forcing. But now you did them a favor by not only giving them 3 free throws, but it also stops the clock, allows you to set up some full court pressure after the make.
And the officials meeting up at the free throw line. Oh, they're going to say 2. They're going to say it was a 2 and not a 3.
Well, I think that was the right call. When he made that pump fake, he did step in there before the ball left his hand. So great work by this officiating crew. First one up and in. This is the big one right here. Not only do you need the point, but you have to be able to set up some full court pressure here and force some steals or get that quick foul. Still a 10-point cushion here for the Pilots.
Panico will try and cut it to single digits and allow them to get into the press, and he does. 65-56, now they got a foul. And they're not able to. Dribble, oh, what a job by Dunn. Up the court to Lloyd, and that may be the last nail in the coffin.
Well, mistake. They could not execute the foul on Dunn.
Panico trying to rip out of a double team. He's stripped. Ewers flips it. He's got it. Now, they don't need to run the fast break. He doesn't care. He wants to finish. He'll do it at the line.
Now, how about Ayersville? They're going to get it done here. They've done it really the blue-collar way here tonight. They've had a team effort. They've played awfully hard at both ends. That time, Ewers, once he came up with that loose ball, he was making sure that they were going to have to foul him.
So much for pulling it back and milking the clock. That will be the 5th foul
Brent,
for Jonah Schinninger.
You kind of mentioned just how highly competitive this game is, just week 1. But again, I think both these teams feel they got a legit shot to be on top. But for Fairview, they have the longest dry spell of any team in the GMC as far as boys basketball championship. The last one for the Apaches was 30 years ago in 1996. Meanwhile, Ayersville championship was back in 2017, where they're coming off of back-to-back championships.
Meade for three. It's long. It's going to be immaterial at this point. Ewers with the board, and he's fouled with 10.5 seconds left to go. And now the smiles and the celebration begins on the Ayersville bench and in the stands.
Boy, this is a hard-fought win here for the Pilots. Anytime you come to the reservation and get away with a W, you're going to take it. Give Coach Wolfram and his staff and his players a ton of credit because they had to overcome some adversity here tonight. We saw both teams make numerous runs. We mentioned those 6 lead changes in that first half, but Ayersville withstood that storm where Fairview got to, 49-49 before the Pilots went on that big run.
He's got them both. He will finish with 21 tonight. No need to foul if you're Ayersville. Panico. Well, look at Lloyd, though, still staying on him. Rebounded by Ewers, and the final 2 seconds tick off the clock. Fairview's 3-game winning streak is snapped. Ayersville's 2-game losing streak is snapped. And this is just the GMC season opener. What a ball game as the Pilots come on the road and win in one of the most difficult places in the entire GMC to play, and they do it handily, 71-56.
Just an incredible performance by Ayersville tonight, and you wonder how much energy they have in the tank for that fourth quarter. Well, Brent, they put up 22 big points in that fourth quarter and held the Apaches to just 11. An impressive 15-point road win here tonight for Coach Wolfram and his guys.
3-2 overall as the Apaches fall to 0-1 in GMC play. The Pilots climb back up to 500 at 3-3 and 1-0 in the conference opener. We're going to take a quick timeout. We are back with your post-game show and Arthur Law Firm Stat Tracker. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching DCTV Sports.
WestBanco, building a better bank every day since 1870. Community-focused WestBanco. Find out more at westbanco.com.
For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com.
Discover top quality healthcare education at Northwest State. Our instructors have real world experience, so they know how to prepare you for great career opportunities. Northwest State, where you'll get the top quality healthcare education you need to succeed.
Stamball Jewelers is your trusted source for diamonds, fine jewelry, watches, and gifts. Whether you're looking for a dazzling engagement ring, a timeless anniversary gift, or a present for someone special, Stamball Jewelers has something for every occasion. Visit us today and discover why we've been serving the community since 1948. Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding, 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com.
Back at the reservation, it was almost a packed house here this evening, and those in attendance got their money's worth. It is the GMC conference opener this evening. You had two teams on very different trajectories coming into this one, as Fairview had won 3 in a row. Ayersville had dropped 2 in a row, and when it's all said and done, looking up at the scoreboard, Ayersville comes up with their best offensive production of the season. It ties their season opening win against Eden, 71-56. On the flip side, looking down here for the Apaches, yeah, this is by far and away second lowest. I did see they won 53-46 against Gorham Fayette, but on their home court here this evening, I don't know what else you can say. You had role players who stepped up like stars tonight for Ayersville, and that made all the difference in the world. Kirsten.
I think that just all of them stepping up, that's exactly what Coach said he wanted. Over this whole week, I imagine they practiced that, and I think Fairview was a little bit surprised that they didn't just have to shut down Dane and Jeremiah Peak. They had to shut down the whole team. Everybody who came in was a vital part to this game, and even Jackson Samball had some amazing plays on defense and getting rebounds and all of the above.
Even Jackson Stambaugh. Jackson, we got nothing but love for you. So, but Scoop, we were talking about it during the commercial break here, no bench points for Ayersville tonight. All 71 points coming from the 5 starters, 4 of which were in double figures, and Jackson Stambaugh was just 1 basket away from double figures himself.
Just incredible balance by the Pots here tonight. When you get that kind of production from your starters, you don't need those bench points, but I credit this entire – you talk about a team win. I thought the Apaches had their hands full from Ayersville from the get-go. Just so many guys contributed for Coach Wolfram's squad here tonight, and as we speak, I see Coach
Wolfram and Dylan Dunn, the man of the night, one of many here this evening. Congratulations to you, young man. Coach, throw that headset on. You catch your – actually, we'll put Dylan on first, so that way he can hit the showers, right? Yep. Yep. Pull that down. You should be able to hear us okay. And they're going to switch to an upper camera here because we're sitting, you're standing, and you are standing tall. You look a little taller tonight. All right, congratulations to you. You hit the opening shot of the ball game, and you didn't slow down. You've been averaging 4 points per ball game tonight. You finished with 17. I don't know if Coach had mentioned it. We had talked to him off the mic. You being a guy that is capable of stepping up and scoring more than 4 points, did they challenge you coming into this one?
Yeah, of course they do. They do every week. My teammates really push me, but you didn't have to throw in that 4 points there at the beginning.
That's okay because you quadrupled that here this evening.
Yeah.
But what was the difference tonight? Was it just a matter of aggressiveness? Was it mental? Or were you just feeling it and you let muscle memory take over?
I mean, honestly, I kind of just flipped the switch tonight. I always play good up against Fairview, though. But it's here on out. My teammates were pushing me, and I know that they needed me to hit some big shots.
And Dylan, you guys had some great runs, but Fairview had some great runs tonight too. Things got a little dicey there. They made that nice push in the third quarter, got things tied up. What was the talk in the huddle and so forth coming out in that fourth quarter?
Yeah, I mean, we weren't really concerned. We just had to keep our heads. We knew that they were going to come out, hit some wild shots, and they just went on a big run. That's it. That's a game of basketball. Basketball is a game of runs, and we just came back and battled harder.
You know, Dylan, I have a question for you. So I graduated from Ayersville as well.
Yeah, I know.
So how did you do with that Ayersville defense? I know we talked about it when I was in school, and everybody talks about it. How did you guys practice that this week, the defense?
Yeah, I mean, we actually had a lot of alumni guys come in this week. We had great scouting this week, and just showed up here.
Look, it's going to be easy to look up at the scoreboard and see 71 points and 4 out of 5 starters in double figures.
Yeah.
But 56 defensively, if you hold teams to 56 points night in, night out, you're going to feel pretty good about your chances to win, aren't you?
Yeah. Yes, we will.
Does this club get enough credit for playing the defense that it does?
No, I don't think that we do. I think that a lot of people in the area thought that we were the underdogs going into this game, which I think that that's crazy. But you know, we just showed them that we're Ayersville Pilots.
And a winning Ayersville Pilot squad tonight, 71-56. Congratulations to you. Enjoy it tonight.
Thank you.
Great job.
We're going to take a quick timeout. We will be joined by Coach Wolfram on the other end of this. Don't go anywhere. The postgame show continues. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding, 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com.
Back at the reservation as being joined by Coach Wolfram right now as the visiting Ayersville Pilots stun the host Apaches of Fairview by a score of 71-56. They snap an Apache 3-game winning streak. They snap a 2-game losing streak of their own. It looks like somebody got a little bit of a Gatorade bath, or was that just the lather you worked up moving up and down the sidelines tonight?
A little bit of water thrown at me and getting in the locker room, which I'm not going to complain about.
Not one bit. Coach Wolfram all smiles as he joins us right now. All right, 71-56. We just talked to Dylan Dunn. Let's start with that because you mentioned it in your pregame. You knew, everybody knew, what the 1-2 punch of Dane and Jeremiah were. But you said we don't need a third guy to step up and also be a 15-16 a night scorer. If we can get 3, maybe 4 guys to score 4 to 5 points, well, 4 of your 5 starters oblige you and then some tonight, Coach. Double digits. Jackson Stambaugh is just 1 basket away from double digits himself. So here's my question. Can you do this night in, night out, now that they've proven it's capable?
I think so, and I think going into the season, that's where we thought that we could go from a decent team to a good team to potentially a great team, is having those role players and those guys step up. Obviously, it didn't happen the first 3-4 games. Kind of relied on Dane and Jeremiah for all of our scoring, but I mean, you can see it when those guys hit some shots and hit some open shots and get to the free throw line. And Jackson was 6 or 6 from the free throw line. I mean, if those guys, if we can get just 75% of that production out of them every given night, we're going to be a hard team to beat.
And, Coach, I thought the energy you guys showed tonight was just tremendous. You knew it was going to be a tough environment coming in, a very athletic and deep Fairview team, but your guys just were relentless. Talk about your defense and rebound ability here tonight.
Yeah. I mean, after the Archbold game, obviously we got beat by 18, and I thought our energy level during that game at times was really, really good. So the coaches and I really harped on that this week. Is we have 3 to 4 other guys that we can put in, and if your guys' energy level isn't where we want it to be, we're going to sub. And we had a couple hard days of practice where we were really on them about their energy level, and if somebody was lacking, we took them right out, and they got a little frustrated because kids don't want to get taken out of the game.
Bench is a great motivator, though, isn't it?
It is, and they definitely responded at the highest level for us tonight.
I think the energy was definitely a big point, and when we were talking, that I noticed the most was how energized you guys were, and just do you think that will continue, and will it keep getting better and better throughout the games, even if you're down?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to have to continue, and it's going to have to get better, and that's number one job of us and our coaching staff. I think I did a poor job of that early on in the season, so I own that, and I told the guys I own it, but I'm not going to let it happen anymore. So practices this week have been extremely energetic, and if we can stay consistently like that, I really like our chances.
Scoop touched a little bit on the defensive end. Kirsten talked about the energy. I want you to focus on one thing in particular that you mentioned with me during the pregame, and that was shot selection.
Yep.
You felt that you quick shot yourself out of too many possessions last week against Archbold, and then all of a sudden you look up at the scoreboard and the game's out of hand.
Yep.
I know you focused on that, but how did the guys do responding to making sure they took better shots?
Yeah, I mean, I thought they did a phenomenal job. I mean, looking at our stats right here, we shot 13 threes. We're averaging 20 threes a game, and we shot 13, and we made 7 of them. So that means we're taking the shots that we want to take. And with Dane and Jeremiah getting downhill the majority of the time, our other guys are going to get those shots at any time. So if we can just run our flow offense and get the shots that we want, good things are going to happen. I know we shot, 37 shots tonight, shot 29 free throws. We were 26 to 29. So Jeremiah took a couple quick shots, which if you saw us on the bench, we kind of got after him pretty hard, and he responded. He did a good job. Dane kind of took a couple quick ones there, but you're going to get quick shots out of those two, and I'm going to have to live with that. But I thought overall it was very, very good.
And last thing, Coach, for me anyways, I thought you guys did a great job of really playing smart basketball, particularly at the offensive end where you didn't really force it. You talk about maybe a couple shots that were forced by a couple of the main cogs, but I thought for the most part, guys were very unselfish, made that extra pass, never forced anything. And that has to be a big part of those shooting numbers you alluded to.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, this is going to be a great film for us to watch. I just told them in the locker room, I said, the things that we are teaching you guys and the things that we are preaching, you did it all tonight. And that's exactly where we need to be and where we need to go from good to great.
Just to piggyback on that before we let you out of here, Coach, but you and I had talked about it again off the air. Aggressive to a point for some of those guys, but then when the defense would rotate or the look wasn't there, guys were stopping. They were locking up instead of thinking one more step ahead. What am I going to do if this happens? Tonight we didn't see that. Did the basketball IQ of this team just take a big step tonight?
Yeah, it definitely did. I mean, going into the GMC, I told our guys before the game, we're not 2-3, we're 0-0. And GMC is really a big part of us, and we have a really, really tough conference, and Fairview is at the top of it, I think. So to come over here and to be as mentally focused as we were, I was extremely proud of how we responded.
I'm looking down here, you got some time off. It's Liberty Center right after Christmas, correct?
Yep.
It's a meat grinder, this conference, isn't it?
Yep, they're going to be nice, they're going to be physical, and they're going to be ready to go.
They'll say please and thank you and shake your hand after 4 quarters of pounding on each other.
Exactly.
Enjoy it while it is now, Coach. Congratulations to you.
Yep.
Coach Wolfram coming up and joining us. We're going to take a quick time out. When we come back, we'll take a look at your Arthur Law Firm stat tracker right after this. You're watching. Back at the reservation, Brent Palpinot alongside Scoop Miller and Kirsten Mann. And final score tonight, visiting Ayersville, 71, host Fairview, 56. I will say this, it was a closer game than the final score indicates, but what happens quite often when you're behind, you've got a foul, and Ayersville was able to salt this one away, primarily from the free throw line. As a matter of fact, as we take a look at our Arthur Law Firm stat tracker, Ayersville, in the fourth quarter alone, shot 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 free throws, and they made 12. That's just, Kirsten, that's stepping up when the game is on the line and just nailing it away. What did this team possibly learn about itself tonight?
I think they learned how to definitely play as a team, knowing that now they can rely on everyone and not just Dane and not just Jeremiah, knowing that everybody can shoot. I think going forward, they'll have the expectation a little bit more that everybody is a big part of this team. And another thing is to keep working on their free throws, knowing what you just said, 12 for 15, right?
Yes.
Yes, that is incredible, and that is a big thing you always want to work on in practice and just keep doing that.
Scoop, just grit is the word that comes to mind here. Fairview's going to win their fair share of games, and I don't think there'd be any surprise if we're sitting here late February, early March, and these two teams are running neck and neck for a conference championship.
Well, no doubt about it. We all know how deep the GMC is, but as we mentioned earlier, I think both these teams have to be talking on their goal sheets that, hey, we want to be atop the stands at the end. A long way to go. We know how deep this is. You have to bring your A game every night, but to come here to the reservation and play the way they did with that type of grit, as you alluded to, I was impressed how they were able to get to the foul line in both the first and second half. So that speaks volumes how they played downhill, attacked the rim, were the aggressor here tonight, and it pays off. As Coach Wolfram said, the second season kind of started here tonight, and they start off on the right foot.
Levi Panico leads all scorers tonight with 24, but he goes down guns a-blazing. But here's the key. No other Apache was in double figures. Only one was close, Gavin Mead. He finishes with 8. On the flip side, 4 of the 5 Ayersville starters in double figures. As a matter of fact, all 71 points come from the 5 starters. No bench points tonight, being led by Dane Ewers with 21. 17 for Dylan Dunn, who averages 4. Dylan, nothing but peace and love, bud. We had to make the comparison. Averaging 4 points, more than quadrupling it tonight. How about Owen Lloyd, also averaging 4 points per ball game? He quadruples that, actually triples that, excuse me. It's the new math. He finishes with 12, and then Jeremiah Peak in foul trouble still finishes with 13. Jackson Stambaugh with 8. Those are your Arthur Law Firm Stat Tracker stats. That's going to do it for our broadcast here this evening. The maiden voyage for the lady in the middle here. Kirsten, appreciate you throwing on the headset, and we're looking forward to calling a few more games with you this season.
Yes, and I'm looking forward to it as well.
And she means it this time. Look at that smile. Scoop, likewise, both of you have yourselves a very safe and enjoyable Merry Christmas, and we will talk to everybody after, but just before the new year with the wrestling portion of our schedule for the Border War. Big thank you also going out to our crew doing a tremendous job tonight, our underwriters for helping make the broadcast a possibility, and as always, you the fan for tuning in. I'm Brent Balvanot. On behalf of our entire crew, have yourselves a very safe, enjoyable, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Final score tonight, Ayersville 71, Fairview 56. As always, you've been watching a presentation of DCTV Sports.